Oh, goodness gracious. I don't think anybody likes their sneeze. I like my sneeze. Egypt hit the news, so I think we need to talk about Egypt for a little bit. Lying governments. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. Good morning, everybody. Share the video out here. Share the video. Shout out to Popo. Popo comes in the day and the night. And the morning, after breakfast, before breakfast, around breakfast, the Popo comes. I'll listen to the Popo. I keep telling people, don't provoke them. Try not to film them. Don't irritate them. You live in a police state. Stay focused. Remember, no lives matter because they don't want them to matter. You live under an oligarchy. Do not provoke the police. It is their job, literally their job, to harass poor people. Leave the police alone. Leave the CIA alone. Leave the FBI alone. Leave the Homeland Security alone. These are slave catchers. It is their job to catch you. Don't get caught. Y'all, come on. It's like cheating in high school. Y'all know. Don't provoke them police. I tell you kids all the time, listen to the people with the guns. Listen to them. You are not free. Do not act like you're free. I love Brother Chris Lewis to death, and I want him to stick around. Act like you are a slave, but be a captive. You are captive. Act like a captive. Be smart. Understand how this works. I get the brother was having a seatbelt, and he had his kid in the back of the car, so I know his emotions. So I'm not upset about anything he said in his video yesterday. And you shouldn't be either. You shouldn't be either. When you get upset, you gotta vent. I'm just glad that brother knew to vent on the internet. After it was over, he was not in jail, in prison, in booking, or dead on the street with his son in the backseat of the car. Good brother, good love in his heart. But just know how the system works, people. Know how this system works. You are a slave. Stop acting like you're anything other than that. Obey the people with the gun. Good morning, everybody. That video bothered me, he posted yesterday. That bothered me. It does. Because his son was in the car. His son was in the car. The police had him on the hood and everything. And I think it was probably because he was upset because he was trying to film him. Oligarch dragoons don't tend to like that type of thing. We need to take up a collection, get everybody these hidden cameras. Y'all want to film the police? Please use a hidden camera. You can buy them, put them right on the front of your dash, and you don't have to worry. All right, good morning, everyone. Running a little late this morning. So yeah, video, and it bothered me. I mean, his son, Carter, is real young. He's real young. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm a product of my environment. I tell you that every day, every day, every day. I drive so peaceful because I know me. I know me. I don't let people provoke me, and I don't provoke other people. I know me because I know some other people out there like me. When I get upset, the eyes don't work. These things, they don't work. I just see red. It's just red. And that's why I don't get upset. I stay calm. I do, yoga. I meditate. Kumbaya, Gerard. If any of y'all like me, nah, I don't get upset. I know most of the women like me too, because the women, there ain't no theory like a woman scorned. But don't get, I think about the effects this has on kids, right? I think about the effects that has on children, watching the police treat their parents that way. That's not going to raise children that's going to listen to the police. That's not going to raise children that are going to do the right thing. If I was raised and y'all's oligarchy, two-party police state police roughed my father up, you wouldn't like me. You wouldn't like me right now. I wouldn't be here right now. I'm going to tell you. Because that's how I am. I know me. I would have been a phenomenal criminal. I'd probably been robbing you right now. I was lucky that I was raised in a place where I didn't have to rob people. I could get an education, go to college, get a job. That's why I don't judge nobody. I don't judge anybody. But I don't think police think about that either. Because a lot of them are young bucks. A lot of police are young people. But that's not what I want to talk about. They're young people. They don't really understand how this works. When you grow up as an angry kid, as a child, when you show your kids, as a child, when a society shows children that the society is going to beat up on their parents, these fathers and mothers and grandparents and nieces and nephews and sisters and uncles and aunts that they view as like the gods of their world as they're being raised, when you show them that's how the world works, that violence overcomes authority, what do you think those children are going to do? They just don't, people ask, well, why are they shooting at the police anyway? Why are they fighting with the police? Really? Really? All right, anyway. How y'all doing this morning? Brother Michael's in the house. Michael, oh, man, dollars, I love your post, brother. Love your post. Brother Mark is back. Where you been, man? How the chickens doing, boy? Who we got? Deborah this morning. I'm going to talk about some secrets today. Sphynx made the news. If you don't know your past, you are doomed to repeat it, and somebody's going to abuse you repeating it. Know your past. Know why the CIA hid that document called Adam and Eve. Understand why would the CIA classify a document labeled the Adam and Eve story? Why would they classify that? I haven't read it yet. I don't know if I really need to. I know they're lying. I know that they only released 80% of the document. So 20% of it, they figure there's little bits and pieces you could probably piece together. But the 20% what they released because of the Freedom of Information Act, it's only going to be enough for you to piece together what they've already passed. Right? They're on to some other stuff. I'm interested in the 80% that they did not declassify about the Adam and Eve story and creation and how all the ancient cultures all over this planet knew what we forgot or wrote down to try to tell us about the future. And they're going to abuse us with it. Not the CIA hates us or the deep state of security. They don't hate us. They just want to stay in front of us. And they always stay multiple steps ahead of us. So you can figure it out by reading the document. So I kind of want to, I'm going to peruse the document a little bit. Sphynx made the news. This is part of why. That massive labyrinth in Egypt, they don't want. No, Thoth said he put his, where did he put his spaceship? Under the Sphinx or under the pyramid? I forgot. Read the emerald tablets. I'm telling you, it'll bless you. These people are lying to you all the time. Good morning, everybody. I'm an outside. Oh, wait. Before we go. Let me get my comments up. And making some changes this morning, upgrading stuff. So I'm pressing buttons. I can't even see the comments on the screen yet. How's everybody doing this morning? What is today? Wednesday or something like that? Let me see. Hopefully that fixes the Facebook comments. Let's see if that comes up. And let's put the comments in. Whoo! Boy, good. All right, here we go. Hopefully that should do it for YouTube also. Let me see. Good morning, heaven. I'm an outsider, a greaser. Yes, all right. Going back to the old movie. Y'all saw about Betamax yesterday. Y'all some silly people. Of course, he knew his mother told him when he was 5. Oh, okay, Nori talking about Brother Chris. Yeah, that's crazy. Well, we live in a police state, people. We live in a police state. We'll ask this question. When all lives gonna matter? Because I don't listen to that whole white lives and black lives matter nonsense. Everybody's lives matter. Y'all fools for even playing that game with the names of those groups. When will all lives matter? Well, for one, when the laws require citizens' lives to matter. If the laws are okay with your life being taken, which they are, and the legislators who wrote those laws and okay with those laws don't want to change any of those laws, your life isn't going to matter. That's just how it works. That's how it works. Let's get outside. Let's protest. Why? You protest. You voted for the people. You put them in and you keep them in. Why would you out protest the people you put in? Why would you protest the laws sending police to chase you down in the street and beat you up in front of your child in the car seat? Why would you protest the police? They're doing their job. Who do you work for? That's what I'm saying. Yeah, you're part of big business corporations taking out bank loans. Do you have a bank account? Is any of that money Federal Reserve notes? All right, if so, then you ain't no better than the police. Ain't no better. I'm sorry, and I'm not a policeman. Said, you're a police apologist. No, I'm just a world realist. I'm a society realist. If you vote for the people who want a police state, Democrats and Republicans alike, oligarchs that need one, then you're going to get one. And it's not going to go away because you get a Sharpie pen and some signs. It's not going to happen. All right. Anyway, y'all listen to the police. Always listen to the people with a gun. That's common damn sense. Listen to the people with a gun. Teach your kids that too. Always listen to the people with a gun. Don't make a point. Don't make a video. Listen, the problems we have are at the federal level. The big problems are at the federal level. And its name is not Donald Trump. Its name is the federal government. The oligarchs. That's the problem. Don't hit the low people on the totem pole. Like, try to fight a fight to win. If you're going to fight a battle, fight to win. It's like, okay, we're in the battle. I don't want to talk about the police. I want to talk about secret information. But this is on my mind. I'll spit this out real quick while I get the comments going. If we're in a battle, we're in a battle. I'm going to go, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back to Nipsey Hussle's comment. His last tweet. And he said, I was blessed to have strong enemies, because strong enemies make you stronger. They make you smarter. They make you tough. They make you into a man. They put hair on your chest. They make you into a woman. They put hair somewhere. All right, if you got strong enemies, right? So we're going into a battle. This is how I view everything, just how my mind works. I like to strategize. We're going into a battle. You got your Republicans with you. You got your Democrats with you. You got your liberals and your conservatives. You got your left and your right. You got your black nationalists. You got your white. Now, everybody, we going into a battle. We're dealing with the oligarchs. We done figured it out. They're done fighting each other like dumb, stupid 98% monkeys. We going after the oligarchs at the top. And you have people who they'll go look and they'll look, okay, let me see, who am I going to fight? I'm not going to fight the king. I'm not going to fight the knights. I'm not going to fight anybody at the top, none of the lords, lieutenants, anybody making any of the orders, sending the bat left out this way and the catapults that way. I'm not going to fight any of them. Let me see, who am I going to fight? Let me pick the lowest one on the totem. Look, there's a guy. What's he doing? Oh, he's dragging bodies off the field? Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm going to fight the lowest guy on the totem pole. I'm going to go fight with the police. I'm going to go fight the lowest people. They got nothing to do with none of the orders that come from the top. All right. That's my point. That's my point. Pick a strong enemy. If you're in the fight, be in the fight. Don't be a coward. And I'm not saying if you're arguing with the police, you're a coward. I'm just saying, really figure out the game. Figure out the game, people. How y'all doing this? All right, let's get it. Yeah, we miss you too, Brother Mark. Good morning, Cheryl, and good morning, Mary. Good morning, Rebecca. Let me see. I want a pair of spy glasses with the cameras in the corner so I can film incognito. That's what you need, Deborah. That's what I mean. If y'all really want to go and get the police on film and show everybody, everybody should already know we have a police state because we are captives. Then let it be hidden. Do it hidden. Do it covertly. You know, maybe you might get something on film that's important that we need to see. I don't need to see it. Like I said, where I grew up outside the outskirts of the Washington, D.C. area, I know, I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to get you upset. I know the problem is not racism. It is not racism. I'm going to tell you the problem is not racist police at all. Now, racism is a side effect of the system that they made, but that's not the problem. All black police chasing the hell out of us. I grew up watching black police beating up black people. So stop it. Stop it. The problem is not racism. The laws send them after poor people. If you're driving on the street and you look like you're poor, like you can't defend yourself, they're going to grab you. That's how it works. They're going to harass you. You're going to find something wrong with your bumper, your lights, didn't stop at stoplight, whatever, because that is their job, to go after the poor people. Just like when they got to Africa. And I don't blame the slave catchers. I have no issue with slave catchers at all on the continent of Africa. I ain't got no problem with them. Listen, I'm sorry, but if you were light skinned and you got off the boat in Africa, oh, you were thug life. You warrior. I'm nothing but respect, dog. Nothing but respect. Because most of them, they didn't have a long life expectancy. Not until they got to find some Shaka Zulu or a big strong tribe or something. Some man Digos to protect them, to go get the weaker darkies. Because that's what happened. You don't like the sound of that, but it's true. It's true. It's all true. I had no problem with the slave catcher. He was doing a job. He was trying to feed his family. I ain't no problem with no police. I ain't got no problem with them. I mean, they do bad things, yes, but they're told to do bad things. They're ordered to do bad things. To feed their children, they got to do bad things, like I did in corporate America, working for the drug companies and the pharmaceutical and the McDonald's and all of everybody. I didn't work for all of them. I don't want to say no names. I'll get in no trouble. I worked for all of them. Killing people, poisoning people, murdering people. Half of the kids are saying in the United States in 2025 gonna have autism. And most of it's because of corporations I work for, chemical companies and pesticide companies and pharmaceutical companies. So I'm not clean. My hands ain't clean. Cleaner than no police. Just focus on the problem. Who sent the slave catchers to get the slaves out of Africa? Who? That's the problem. You take them out, you ain't got no problems. There are no slave catchers. Nobody's paying them to go catch slaves so they can put biscuits on the table. You got a problem with the police, take out the oligarchy at the top. You need to stop voting for these Democrats and Republicans. They want a police state. They send them out to go catch poor people. They're not changing the laws because they don't want to change the laws. They're okay with your life not mattering, but they'll march with you. They'll get the sign. They'll write the sign with you. They'll be right there like, oh, white lives matter. And they'll call up, hello, yeah, hello, white lives matter. Yeah, I'm a politician. I want to come out and support you. I want to get down with my base. And they'll get out there with you. White lives matter. And they don't give two damns. They keep every single law that takes everybody with a mullet and a hoopty in a trailer park in a rural area and throwing them in prison. Same with the black side. That's why I just sit back and watch. That's why I'm not a part of it. The black side, they'd be like, we got to go fight with the brothers. They went right. Black lives matter. Got that black elite, that black caucus right on the sign. And they call you, hey, black lives matter. What's up? We down. Hey, how y'all doing? They change their voice because they won't talk good to white folks. How y'all? Yeah, we down with the hood. Yeah, we gonna come down there and protest with y'all. Yeah, this is a politician. My name Jethro St. James. I'm coming on down. Let's get the march together. We got the march for the brothers. We're gonna stop fighting. And they come down there and march with you. Black lives matter. Black lives matter. They ain't gonna change one damn law. Ain't gonna change one law. That's what I'm just saying. That's why I just watch. That's why I just sit back here. I'm wave energy. I had nothing to do with it. I had nothing to do with y'all destroying it. Got police chasing me on the street because I'm driving while not a billionaire. And y'all yelling and screaming about they chasing down people because of skin color. I have nothing to do with that. All right, anyway. I can talk about Egypt. I'll talk about Egypt. Talk about secrets. So, if you're going to film the police, Deborah, thank you. Please do it covertly. They get moody when that type of thing happens, when you shove a camera in their face. Don't do that. Don't show me nothing. Don't say, I gotta film this for Gerard. Don't, you ain't gotta film for me. Ain't gotta film for me. I grew up with it. I grew up with it. Me and my poor white friends and my poor black friends, my poor Mexican friends and my poor Asian friends running from the Mexican police, the Asian police, the white police, the black police, and all right, done. We got an oligarchy. Fight that. How y'all doing? Rebecca! Verna, Deborah, Eckham. If I don't give you a shout out, don't get moody. I try to say hi to everybody. I got to get on with the show though. Get on with the discussion. When a bird loses its way, the flock will always be there to help you find your way. Absolutely, Mark. We're a flock. We got to fly together. Absolutely. We got to fly together. Because, you know, I like that. I love that. I love that, Mark. I love that. You, my chicken man, Mark. When you see the geese flying, when the birds fly, what do? You got that lead bird. What does that lead bird do? Does it send you out to go protest to change the laws they won't change? No. What does the lead bird do? The lead bird is in the front. It's taking on the wind. It's taking on the forces of the oligarchy, so you don't have to. And they all get off that V shape. They all get off each other's wings. And all the other weaker ones in the back don't have to deal with the forces of the wind of the oligarchy, so the flock can fly faster, but they don't have to deal with the problems that the front one, the leader, does. We the exact opposite, Mark, ain't we? We ain't like a V shape flying through the air and the leaders taking it on. Donald Trump taking it on, so we don't have to. Barack Obama's taking them on, so we don't have to. Hillary Clinton and Bernie, they all just taking them on. That is not what's happening. They are not taking on the wind pressure for us. We're like the reverse. Like, we're like this. We all fly in the front, and they got the billions of dollars and millions of dollars and Clinton foundations, Obama foundations, the Trump foundation. They all fly behind us, and we take on the brunt of it. We're the ones that got to deal with the police and the pressure and the 5G and the pesticides while they can afford organic food and autism's going up. All right, I'm not good. All right, good example, though. Good morning, Barbie. Good morning, Ivana. Good morning. Good morning. I'm going to get down in the comments. Brother Michael's in the house. Donna here. I was talking about Donna the other day. Donna, love you to death. Thank you for the whistleblowers. Everybody say thank you to the whistleblowers. The whistleblowers are the only reason why we know we live in a live time. Let me get into it. I'm sorry. It affects me, y'all. I didn't mean to talk about the police for a minute. I didn't mean to talk about that. It's just when I watch a video and one of my friends is getting harassed by police and his little baby's in the back seat, and I'm just thinking about what the child is thinking. I'm thinking about what the child is seeing, that daddy didn't have a seatbelt, and now this man with a gun has got daddy bent over the hood. It's a bad thing, y'all. We can't go this way. We got to turn this thing around. All right, I'm going to show you this. Let me see, where is it? So the CIA, we're going to talk about Adam and Eve for a minute. We're talking about Adam and Eve. The CIA classified a document called the Adam and Eve story. What the hell would they do that for? Because Christianity is a lie. It's fake. Nothing in the Bible is true. Because the CIA wastes your tax dollars and their time trying to hide things from you that aren't true. I'm not saying Adam and Eve is true. I'm not saying nothing like that. What I'm saying is there's something here that we need to pay attention to. I got a few of my friends digging into it. This is the document right here. I'll give you the link for it, or you can download it. Always listen to the whistleblowers. The whistleblowers came forward from NASA, CIA, FBI, all of these organizations, even abroad, MI6, and telling us the truth, that we're always being lied to, that the past holds secrets that they keep from us. And those who don't know their past will be abused by it in the future. And I'm not going to go down through all of it because I haven't looked at a lot of it. It's just important that you look at it. And People Approach is written by a guy named Chan Thomas, which is probably a fake name. And I think this was written in like the 1960s or something like that. And it's not just about Adam and Eve. I mean, it's about ancient archaeology. It's about climate catastrophes. It's about lost civilizations. It got something on here on the inner earth. And I'll be honest, I haven't even gone down this. I scanned it. The passions and perils of nationhood. They didn't want you to know that. They were forced to let you know about the passions of Spain and Great Britain. And like, why in the world would your CIA hide this from you? The fabric of corruption. And the guy who wrote this, he actually, so 80% of it was classified. Only 20% they let you read now. The other 80% you can't read now, which is why I keep saying governments can't have secrets. They go into all this detail. And now, mind you, I think that it's all done so in a way that Cassius Clay, what's up, brother? It's done in a way where you actually won't be able to piece together why it was classified. And they want to just classify, sanitize. So it's declassified. And then they sanitize it. So they declassified it. So now you can see parts of it because they were required to by the Freedom of Information Act because somebody applied for. Actually, I want to know who applied for it. I want to know who knew that this document was important. But when they released it, they sanitized it. They did a lot of pages and they redacted a lot of information so we can't know the real stories about creation. So you can go down through it. It talks about giants, talks about cataclysms. It's got the Great Flood section. It's got the story. It's got the events. It's got Genesis. It's got a conclusion. It talks about the next cataclysm. It's got stories about Noah. We know about Gilgamesh. We know that the floods are real. Geologists are telling us we've had global floods all the damn time. The first time I found about it was the Bible. Seemed fantastic to me. Now now the geologists agree, and we know the other stories of Gilgamesh. We've always been dying by floods. And what did the Bible say in the scripture? It said that this is the last time God said he was going to destroy the earth by flood. And as a kid, I was trying, what the hell does he mean by that? And I didn't say that because I wouldn't allow him to talk like that. I wouldn't put hell and God in a sentence. But I was like, what in the world? What do you mean? This is the last time you're going to kill us by flood? It was the first time you killed us by flood. Because apparently this has been happening all throughout civilization. And it might just be because, I don't know, an asteroid's coming here, heading for the ocean. The CIA doesn't want you focused on that. This talks about Earth crustal displacement. It talks about how it happened quickly instead of happening over a long period of time and having a lot of warning. It's just one day, within 8 hours, the entire crust flips and the poles start melting. It talks about, I think, what the different cultures who talked about the sun used to rise in the west and set in the east, and certain cultures talk about the sun didn't come up at all. You know, so it goes through like the calamities, and maybe they just didn't want us to know that. So it goes through the great floods. So I'm not going to go through all of it. I just kind of wanted to scan down. These are things that we need to look at. When somebody goes through the great problem of getting the CIA to declassify something that they feel is important, it's got to be important. Why? Because not all whistleblowers come out like Donna Hare, my friend from NASA. Love you, girl. Not everybody comes out and tells you there are structures on the moon. Not everybody had a father who worked at a satellite company and realized with the optics that we saw back in the early 80s that are better than what on Google Earth today, that they're lying to you about the capability of these cameras, that they're sending up probes and satellites and not showing you what's truly on the planetary bodies, that reality is not what we think it is. But some whistleblowers are just quiet. They don't say anything. The vast majority just work in these deep state organizations and these and they know little bits and pieces of the story. And they'll go out there in a fake name and publish an essay called the Adam and Eve story. And they'll put a whole bunch of content in there talking about Egypt and talking about the ancient Aborigines, because they know that all of these groups wrote very similar stories, that we need to focus on the future and focus on each other, not fighting each other to try to own the future, that the future is already owned by calamity, or these great kings that always seem to run us now turn governments. But some of these whistleblowers, I can see them just saying, you know what, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna write an essay. I'm gonna tell the story how I know it to be when I worked on these classified projects, and I worked with NASA at ancient archaeology sites. And where's that, Nevada? Like, the hell is NASA doing at these ancient archaeology sites? Why does the CIA have a site in Egypt, not too far from Giza? Oh yeah, because there's something there. So anyway, I'm not gonna go through it. I just wanted to kind of pan down it. This is important. It talks about the events. The end times are always coming, and we always get wiped out, which is why they call us a species with amnesia, because we never focus on it. We try to make a little make a little money, try to save up in our retirement, try to focus on our 401k, gotta get out and fight racism! Meanwhile, we all die when the next calamity comes. So this was deep. This is deep. The fact that they actually redacted and they classified this, and it talks about the book of Genesis. So I'll read it. I haven't had time yet. It's springtime. I'm really busy. I'm planting. So anyway, I'm going to go down and see if we got any pretty pictures. That's what I always do when I was a kid. Yeah, I was a kid. You didn't want to read nothing. You just want to look at the pictures. I was a picture kid. Now see if any other pictures. Let's get down to the bottom. Volt transistor battery discharge. That almost sounds like magnetic icy holder. Reflective tape, and it's all redacted. Whatever came after that, you don't get to know. Looks like almost ingredients. And he's got the pages listed, but of course those pages are probably gone. Those are the ones they deleted. Sound like Tesla to me. I don't know. I'm gonna go down to the end. Talks about the author, who he was, I guess. Mr. Thomas attended Dartmouth College at Columbia University, receiving his degree in electrical engineering from the latter 1943. As a result of his research in 1949, Mr. Thomas has become recognized as the world's leading authority in the field of cataclysmic geology and its relationship and uniformitarian geology. Sounds like he knows what he's talking about. Sounds like he had something that we need to focus on. His research in the paleosciences has led to new explanations of such enigmas as the Pyramid of Khufu at Giza, the ancient cities at Tiwanaku, Baalbek, and the giant statues on Easter Island, because we don't actually know what's true, and we're always a few steps behind the truth. So it's funny, and what's this? Okay, this is the end. This is the end. This is an important part right here. A little bit of knowledge can be a dangerous thing, or it can be a vibrant seed, giving rise to verdant forest and awakening sleeping giants. See, when I read that, you know what I think? I think that this author was trying to give us a little piece of ancient knowledge that we forgot. That maybe he realized we were acting foolish. That maybe nations were fighting nations. That people were fighting people. Races were fighting races. And we were all fighting to be greedy. And that collectively, if we had the right information, we would come together collectively, because maybe we would realize that we're always being controlled by something, someone. That working together, we could be this awakening giant and do a paradigm shift on this planet. Instead of being greedy little bastards fighting each other, always thinking we're right, because everybody's always right, and we'd work together. Or he's talking about the book of Gigantes, that the giants are real, and they're sleeping under the earth, and they might come up out of the hollow earth, who knows. Anyway, I'm not gonna go through any further with that. I want y'all to look at that if y'all get time, tell me about it, because you know, when you look at things, you see something different. Everybody sees something different. All right, let's put my YouTube comments over there. Very important. Love your mind is awesome. I do too sometimes, John, but I'm a man. Sometimes my mind betrays me. I don't love my mind, not all the time. Keep chasing those rabbits. Yes, Stacy, you always got to chase the rabbits. Always look where they don't want you to look. Anything that's classified, that's where you look. Anywhere your parents say the Christmas gifts are not at, that's where the Christmas gifts are. That's where you're going to need to go dig something up. Shame about his suicide. Who's suicide, Georgia? Who we talking about? It's almost like we live inside a video game. Stacy, I think we do. We live in a video game. We live in a video game, and we're always being played, and we're the dummies. We're the characters. We're fighting each other. And someone else, like a CIA or Illuminati or God or whatever y'all want to call it, they got the video game controllers. Boop, 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 boop. You know, I'm going to go like this, because this is the video games we used to have. The young kids like, what the hell is he doing? Like, these are the video games we had. You had one stick controller and you had a bunch of buttons, and they got complex. Sometimes you had other buttons. It's like a video game, and they're playing all the time, playing us. We the dumb little avatars on the screen running around, being killed by all of this. All right, I'm gonna go into somebody said on YouTube, what Patricia said, driving while poor. Yes, Brother Chris was driving while poor in Philly, and what the Democrats and Republicans did with the police happened to him. Unfortunately. Fortunately, he's a very smart brother, and he got out of it. And his son didn't see what an oligarchy really can do, writing laws, stealing the Constitution, and eviscerating the Bill of Rights. Let me show you this. Let me show you something. I have a cue. I don't have a cue. I do have a cue. So one of the things that it did touch in that classified document is Giza, right? Because we know there are cities all over Egypt. We know that there are pyramids all over Egypt under the sands. We know the previous civilizations, but not the booty scratchers and the grass running naked, dumb, stupid people that modern archaeology likes to tell you are, that they had ancient technology that's been lost, which is why I think part of the other reason why I think the CIA classifies all this stuff is they keep from us the fact that they're looking for a million-year-old wrench made of a laser beam. Check this out. One of the Labyrinth is this was important. Because the people in Egypt will tell you that as kids, they played in these labyrinths, that there's cities under under the sands, under the pyramids, all throughout. But every time you see that Zahi Hawass and you see his head in a hole and butt sticking out, butt crack plumber's butt, he's like, "There ain't nothing down there." He looked down the hole, "There ain't nothing down there. I see some rocks, I see some dirt, and there ain't nothing down there." Meanwhile, we got the Book of the Dead, and the Emerald Tablets telling us that there are cities under the pyramids.
For tuning in again.
Check this out.
The lost labyrinth of Egypt has been found. Actually, it has already been found in 2008, but no findings were ever made public. So that's why I made this video, to share with you guys what we know about this labyrinth and what was found at that time. So the lost labyrinth of Egypt was full of hieroglyphs sculpted in an endless stone walls that is believed to contain all knowledge of ancient Egypt. The Labyrinth of Egypt has been described by a number of ancient writers, such as Herodotus, Strabo, Diodorus and Pliny. Its origins are unclear, but at the time of Herodotus' visit, it was more than 1300 years old. The legendary complex, named the Labyrinth by ancient Greek, was a legendary complex that is said to be an enormous collective tomb of the 12 kings who built it and a resting place for sacred crocodiles. Yes, crocodiles were very sacred in ancient Egypt, same with cats. Located at Hawara, sorry for butchering those names by the way, about 90 kilometers south of modern Cairo, the complex contains secret chambers, passages, shrines and tombs. Herodotus wrote the following of the labyrinth in the 5th century BC. It has 12 courts, with gates facing one another, 6 upon the north and 6 upon the south, joining on one to another, and the walls surround them all outside. There are in it 2 kinds of chambers, the one kind below the ground and the other above these. 3,000 in number, of each kind 1,500. The opposite of chambers we saw ourselves, but the chambers underground we've only heard about. There is a roof made of stone like the walls, and the walls are covered with figures carved upon them. Each court being surrounded with pillars of white stone fitted together most perfectly. And at the end of the labyrinth, by the corner of it, there is a pyramid of 40 fathoms, upon which large figures are carved. Or so he said. It was not clear whether the Egyptian temple was described as a labyrinth simply because it was so huge and so complex that one could easily become lost, or whether it was intentionally designed as a maze where one had to find a way through. Ancient Greek historian Sabo, who also claimed to have visited the temple, wrote, "Before the entrances there lie what might be called hidden chambers, which are long and many in number, and have paths running through one another which twist and turns, so that no one can enter or leave any court without a guide." Roman geographer Pomponius Mela described the temple as having innumerable paths which caused great perplexity because of their continual winding. The Roman...
I'll post a link and watch everything. This is a brother on YouTube by the name of Mysterious Juicebox. I want to give him credit. Make sure that you subscribe to his channel and you go watch it over there so I don't get in trouble. But look, so here's the point. Like all the ancient civilizations went underground. Why'd they always go underground? What was above ground? Why are they finding underground cities all over Turkey? Why are they finding underground cities in Mexico? Why are they finding underground cities in the in Guatemala and Belize? Why are they finding all these underground cities? What happens above ground that we need to be concerned with that the CIA doesn't seem to want us to think about? Why is everybody going underground and what's under there? Well, I like to apply things from history into today. I think that the most important things go underground. That's what I think. I think that's where we as a species always wants to hide the goodies. We always want to hide them underground. That's why the elites are always building massive bunkers and cities under the ground. And they're taking things down there like nuclear weapons and gold and their own bodies and their families and leaving us on the surface. If there's not enough room for the dumb monkeys, then the dumb monkeys can't know that they need to be underground when the rocks start falling, when the asteroids come, or the comets come, or the flood waters roll, or the planet flips around. So I don't think they want people really focused on that, because I think calamity's always coming. If they can keep you focused on silly stuff like economics, making money, getting a job, having a career, being a good citizen, providing for the banks and corporations that all at the top are run by the elites that are always underground, just like they were in Egypt. So I think there are things down there. It's like our nuclear weapons. That's where we put our weapons. That's why, part of why I think they don't want us there. That's part of why I think they said they find, what is that melted, what is that melted metal they found in Tiwanaku, or was it Chichen Itza, and they found in the pyramids too, and they found in that big pyramid in China, rivers of that silvery stuff. Touch your skin, carcinogen. Because perhaps that they had technologies under there that could be millions of years old that melted, but they're always looking for something. Always looking for something, and they don't want us focused on it. And that's what I think, like I said, all this racism's always about. They always want you off running, fighting with other poor people. They got the same hate you got. It's just in a different flavor of it, but you all were starved into it. They don't want you for mercury. Thank you, Susan. They found mercury under all these things. Like if somebody came here in a million years, Susan, and the nuclear weapons were still underground, all these underground bases and Mount Weather and all of this nonsense, NORAD, like what would happen to all of that metal after a while? Heat, cold, time, start to melt, eviscerate, be broken down. And a million years from now, when we come back, the poor dummies that were fighting each other over racism and poverty and supremacy and privilege, when we're done fighting over that stupid stuff, we're like, oh, look at this. There's there's a place we call NORAD, and for some reason, there's all this melted metal and broken down things. That's just weird. I don't know. Focus on it. I think these things are important. That's what I think. And why did they emphasize equinoxes and zodiacal wheels, the wheel to the stars? They were trying to tell us, look for something. Yeah, well, they always looked up, Susan. They always looked up. All the ancient cultures, they always said, look up. Y'all see that? They called them gods. And that scared everybody. Oh, we don't believe in gods. Like, no, there's something up there. Something up there came down here, taught us some things. And one of those things was stop fighting over silly stuff. Like pesticides. Why are pesticides even in food anymore? I'm going to segue this into the news. But the whole point is if you don't know your past, you will be abused by it. If you don't know what the Germans did with injections, then you must not know what the pharmaceutical companies are going to do with injections. All right, let's go into the news a little bit, just a little bit. There were some interesting things in terms of, I think autism is important. Everybody knows somebody with autism, and if you think it's bad, then autism is something that we do have to focus on. We need to find a cause of it, and we can't let anybody tell us that, oh, well, it's not my product. No, your product needs to be tested. I don't care what your product is. If someone seems to indicate that you could be causing it, it needs to be tested. There's a whole bunch of technology stuff in the news, too, I'm going to go through. So I want to hit autism. Oh, let me hit this real quick. It's the Riddle of the Sphynx. That was in the news. What is that? I don't know. It's a food processor. I like food processing. I like food processing. If you don't have food processing, get a food processor. It'll help you stay healthy.
So ancient. Egypt's mysteries, you know, the stuff we've seen in movies and books, pyramids, the tombs, the Sphinx. It never seems to stop amazing the modern mind, right? Well, there's new research now that's suggesting that there may be some new discoveries still to be made, maybe underground, right? Is this the real riddle of the Sphinx? There is resistance, though, from academic circles and those in charge of tourism there, saying, wait, back off, maybe we don't want to know. Here's NRS producer Joe Ricci with the story.
The study of the majesties of ancient Egypt goes back to the founding of Western science and archaeology. And while most of the major monuments along the Nile have been found and explored, there is no shortage of strange theories about their origins. Take, for example, the Sphinx. New research suggests there's a secret tunnel underneath the statue connecting it to one of Egypt's largest pyramids.
At the very front of the Sphinx, there is the Dream Stealer, which is a stone plinth, which has got writings on it by Thutmose IV, the guy who excavated the Sphinx in the 18th dynasty. And on that stealer, we've got two pictures of the Sphinx. But on those pictures, it's sort of sitting on a plinth, and underneath it looks like there's a doorway.
So where is the pushback coming from? According to Matt Simpson, it's coming from within academic circles, and that's despite interesting new scientific discoveries.
The general consensus, the official word is there is nothing underneath the Sphinx. I don't know. I mean, Robert Schoch, he is one of the main guys. He's a geologist from the University of Boston. He did a lot of work. I think he was involved in the radar surveys, and he's seen the data that shows there is a cavity beneath the Sphinx. I think he wanted to take it further, wanted to excavate, but couldn't.
So, are controversial theories with evidence to support them being pushed aside for academic or tourist agendas? No matter. Mr. Simpson believes it's all about the evidence.
Things that we can prove. Look at the facts, look what's written. Sometimes we do have to, when we look at the facts, we have to interpret what we see. So we can look at Stonehenge, look at these standing stones, and the archaeologists then give an interpretation of what they think the evidence is showing. So I would always say, look at the evidence.
Reporting in Washington, D.C., Joseph Ricci, RT.
Just look at the evidence and look outside the evidence. The fact that they're always trying to hide things like that tells you that there's something there that we need to be focused on. And so in autism, that's the other one I hit on, is autism. It's another thing they want you fighting over, right? The vaccines, another thing they want you fighting over. Why do they just need you fighting? As long as you're fighting each other, it doesn't really matter. They're happy. It's like Tony Blair said, the ex-prime minister of the UK, said democracy is the hardest form of government to have. The biggest problem is all the power is with the people. You can't do anything as a government unless the people are fighting each other. Unless you divide the people, you can't do anything because they got all the power. So he said it doesn't matter if they fight over religion, doesn't matter if they fight over race, doesn't matter if they fight over politics. I'm sure I'm adding some stuff to that. Don't say I said that was a Tony Blair quote. But he said it to the effect of you got to keep the people divided. That's the only way government gets power, and that's how they steal all the rights from them. All the times they keep them divided. That's why nobody in America has any rights and none of your lives matter, because you have an oligarchy. Check this out. We got to go to autism.
Meanwhile, tonight, a researcher at MIT is suggesting that even in the future, more children will be born with autism. In fact, she's throwing out a number that should send shivers down the spine of any prospective parents. She's suggesting that by 2025, half of all children in the United States could have some form of autism. Here's the money question. Why? Right? Why? Here's RT correspondent Michelle Greenstein. She's been
are diagnosed with autism. Now take a look at your screen. Take a look at the last two bars all the way on the right. In just 2 years, we went from 1 in 69 children being diagnosed to 1 in 59. So a 10-point jump. This is according to the CDC's 2018 report. So now let's get into the why, because these numbers, aren't the whole story. We could just be diagnosing more. And of course, autism comes with a variety of causes, but I'm going to narrow in on one that I think is really important.
Before she narrows it on that one, I'm seeing some comments I want to jump into. Right, 1 in 2 boys, and oligarchy by consent. By consent, Ty. Let's focus on this. We have an oligarchy by consent. Let me go back to this graph. Why is autism going through the roof? They know it's environmental. And who makes the money from that? Chemical companies, oil companies, war companies, pharmaceutical companies. To me, doesn't really matter. Like when you think about these autistic kids, you think about how privileged you are, autism privilege, where you don't have autism and you can do the things in life you want to do. You got the freedoms to go around here. Do you look at these kids and at all think, you know what? Whoever did that to them, they need to pay. Whatever did that to them, it needs to stop. Or do you think, oh, well, if as long as it's not the pharmaceutical companies, I don't want them to pay if it's them, or as long as it's not the chemical companies, or as long as it's not my political party who voted for all the corporations, takes money for all the corporations, and voted to take away your rights so that they can poison your food and your water and give away your land and roll out more pipelines. And then that would just happen. They gave away more Americans' land for the pipeline from the Trump administration, the same as the Obama administration. It's always the same thing. You have no rights, but they can poison the hell out of you and give everybody autism. So before she gets into one cause, like as an adult and as a parent, as somebody focused on the future, at some point you have to say, you know what, this is wrong. This is dead wrong. We need to stop going this direction. And if the politicians don't want to do anything about it, then maybe you need to stop consenting to the system. Maybe the politicians aren't the ones who actually can control what's going on. Maybe you need to walk away from this system that's going to end up in half the kids having autism in less than 6 years. We consent to it, and your politicians all vote for it. It's the same thing like I started at the beginning of the video. Why do we have a police state? Because we vote for it. Why do police chase down poor people and throw them over the hoods of cars while their kids are in the back? Because you're voting for it. You're planning to vote for it in 2020. So, no, I'm not. I'm going to vote for Kamala. Same thing. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Kamala's part of the system. You vote for her, the police state will get stronger and bigger. You vote for her, autism will go up. Why? Because she's a part of it. She's a part of it. So is Bernie. So is Trump. So is all. The system requires these big corporations to poison you so they can make profit that ends up in autism, and you keep voting and cheering for it. That's why these children have autism. You, me, we consent to the system.
10-point jump. This is according to the CDC's 2018 report. So now let's get into the why, because these numbers, aren't the whole story. We could just be diagnosing more. And of course, autism comes with a variety of causes, but I'm going to narrow in on one that I think is really important, and that's pesticides. So we've seen experimental studies before that suggest that pesticides affect brain development and give you a higher risk for autism spectrum disorder. But now we have a study examining pesticide exposure in the real world. It's coming out of the British Medicine Journal, and this study suggests, this came out just last week, this study suggests that your risk of autism increases for a baby or for pregnant mothers when they're exposed to pesticides, and that this association with pesticides is strongest in those who represent the severe end of the autism spectrum. So of course there are limits to this study. For one, we're relying on patient records for diagnosis information, but it's still the largest study to date to investigate autism and pesticides.
The average person watching us right now is very concerned listening to...
No, they're not. No, they're not. No, they're not. No, they're not. The average person watching this is not concerned. The average person watching this right now is thinking, well, I ain't got nothing to do with that. I ain't do that. I had nothing to do with it. First of all, it's criminal. It is criminal to put pesticide in food and sell it. That is a criminal act. That's poisoning. This is why the king actually had other people taste his food to see if they would die before he tasted. We are slowly being poisoned. And the fact that none of your politicians are making it illegal for a company to sell that to a pregnant mother is insanity. If you are a pregnant mother and you're going out to eat, what the heck is wrong with you? Don't do this to your children. If you are a person who buys food in a grocery store, are you buying organic food? Or are you funding the chemical companies by buying from the pesticide chemical growers? Oh, it's all related. And this is what Ty mentioned before. This is all by consent. All of our problems, we all consent to. We want to fight over healthcare. Let's fight about single payer. Let's fight about the wall. Let's fight about Venezuela. Let's fight about Honduras. Let's fight about racism. Let's fight about anything that doesn't matter to a hill of beans while they're literally poisoning our children.
To the information that we're sharing, and what they want to know is, okay, you say pesticides,
right?
But my child is not running around a farm somewhere with someone spraying them with pesticides, so how would they be affected?
Right, maybe not, but we're talking about pesticides like glyphosate, which is basically ubiquitous in the U.S., and it's also a carcinogen, by the way, so isn't that fun? This is used in corn, in soy, which means here it's in our cereals with a lot of soy fillers, it's in our snacks, soft drinks, candy, our chips, and Roundup, in fact, is so ubiquitous that it's impossible to avoid its effects. Most of Roundup doesn't even touch a weed, which is what it's meant for. It's a weed killer, but it actually ends up in the water that we drink and the air that we breathe.
Is it mostly...
Oh my gosh, stop everybody! Syria's gassing their people! Assad is gassing their people! Everybody stop! We think Maduro might want to poison his people! Meanwhile, we're all being poisoned. From the water, to the food, to the air. But let's fight about chemtrails. Let's fight about the government spraying us. Let's fight about, oh, that's a contrail or chemtrail, and this crap ain't never been in the sky. We are literally being poisoned. Do you know how easy it is to manage people who half the population has autism? Do you know how easy it is to treat them any way you want to treat them?
Affecting at
everything.
The fetal stage, in other words.
Everything the kings, lords, and governments have done from the beginning of time is about farm management. Everything. You are a farm animal. You are being managed. You are being dumbed down by the news, the pesticides, the sprays, all of it. Everything. And a side effect is breast cancer, because where do all these heavy metals and toxins end up? In breast tissue. Breast cancer. It is a crime that you don't have all of these politicians all in federal prison for murdering all the women they have with breast cancer. But hey, let's go, I don't know, fight about gender bathrooms or something.
When a woman is pregnant, is
Right.
that when she's most susceptible to
Right.
this?
So the younger you are, the more your brain is developing, right? So the younger the child is, the more you are susceptible. So yes, this latest study talks about prenatal and very, very young children. So babies and pregnant women are at a high risk, and this actually falls in line with a lot of past research. A few years ago, we saw a study that pregnant women living near farms where they use pesticides have a 60% higher risk of autism, and also with the work of the MIT scientists that you mentioned earlier, who declared that, we're facing an epidemic of autism due to pesticides like Roundup.
That's good stuff. That's great information. Thanks for sharing.
And it's not even secret information. It's not even like it's Egypt, right? It's not even like we don't know. It's not like we don't even know that the brother that won that suing Bayer Monsanto because glyphosate is a carcinogen. Where are the legislators banning it? I want to know. I'm seeing. Let me show you. Y'all, your 2020. Show me where your 2020 is going to ban glyphosate that causes cancer. Show me. I know they're talking about other stuff, but show me where they're about to go after Bayer or the pharmaceutical industry or the chemical companies that are poisoning you, that are literally putting cancer in your food, in your water, carcinogens. Show me your 2020. Oh, they're not talking about it. Why? Why? Because they took the money. That's why. They took the money. They took the bribes. You are a captive of state. You are the enemy of the state when you have an oligarchy. All right, I'm going to do comments. I'm going to keep going. There's a couple other things I want to show you. And there's all kind of crazy. So India made the space weapon. So now they're shooting satellites down, and in America, oh my goodness, we don't talk about the weapons we have and what we are shooting satellites down, and we're shooting satellites with satellites, and we're shooting structures on the earth with satellites. And this is all a good idea. It's a good idea to keep going this direction, making more weapons to murder more people we don't know. This is a positive direction. This is what we want to do. This is what we want to keep consenting to and voting for. It's insanity, people. It's insanity. This is why the aliens don't come to visit, because we just dumb as a box of wet hammers. But that's just the real story. So something else I wanted to show you. Something else. No, all right, let me do comments before we go on to the next, because I sometimes I get excited. Sometimes you get excited, It's even in the beer. Yes, Ivan, it's in the beer, it's in the wine, it's in everything poor people eat and drink and breathe in. Not the elites. They know better than that. To me, this is chemical warfare. This is warfare on your own people. Monsanto is a grandbaby to Uncle Agent Orange. Those folks have genetic issues, and it hasn't stopped. No, it hasn't, and they're not slowing down the spraying. They're not stopping. Glyphosate is a carcinogen, 100%, and they ain't stopping none of it. None of it. That's that. They just basically came out, the Democrats and Republicans, and just told you we're poisoning you, and we're not going to stop. We're going to keep taking the money. And you're voting. I laugh because it's ridiculous. That's the only reason why. It's so ridiculous. This is why I'm not a part of your society. This is why I'm not. This is why I just sit back, because y'all waste time. Y'all waste time. It's just like nobody's business. That's why I'm not a part of it. Why does Gerard sound like Chris Tucker on crack today? Do I sound like that, Kelly? I probably sound like that every day. I don't know. My voice goes up in an octave when I'm excited, goes down in an octave when I'm talking to a pretty lady. It's just that's how it works, Kelly. I don't know. I understand it. Let me say 100% of all of California wines, organic or not. Right. And even they don't even do the testing. Well, people don't seem to know that a grapevine actually sends roots down a couple hundred feet, which is why when you go to France, you'll see the grapevine roots coming through the cave systems. It'll go down and find that glyphosate. It'll go down and find all the carcinogens and what USDA Organic says, well, you can't have any pesticides sprayed on your field for 6 years. Do you think glyphosate cares about your 6 years? No, it'll sit down there and the grapevine will go down because they're just an older variety. So will the trees. People don't know that they go get the wood chips. Oh, I'm going to put wood chips on my garden. Where do you think the wood chips came from? They came from trees. How deep the trees' roots grow? They grow till they can't grow anymore. Some will grow through clay and keep going. They will go find the poison from 50 years ago, the DDT, take it up in their bark. You'll grind it up in a tripper shredder when your neighbor cuts a tree down, and you'll put it on your organic garden. I'm organic. Exactly, Brother Kelly. Autistic feelings is exactly the point. They have feelings about it and how people like them that are less functioning, how people like them that are less functioning are treated. And that, you know, what they do, they have a lot of love in them. There's something about autistic kids. They are very loving kids, but I think all kids are, and it bothers me, Tina. It does. That gets to me. Y'all stupid adults do what you want to each other. Sometimes I really don't care. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I just look through the zoo, look through the bars, and like, oh, what y'all doing over there? You know, like y'all doing dumb stuff. When they're hurting kids, I got a problem with that. But they all take the money for glyphosate, so they're not going to stop it. Lawsuit after lawsuit, and after all these people been poisoned, all these politicians took all the money. But it's secrets, right? It's secrets. They knew glyphosate was a carcinogen long ago. When they first made it, they were selling it as a antibiotic. Antibiotic. You are a biotic. They were going to sell it as an antibiotic, and they put it in all your food. They knew, but they kept the secret from you, just like the labyrinths under Egypt. And those secrets are used to always abuse you. When is information powerful? Information doesn't become powerful till you hide it, till you don't tell somebody. Then you can abuse the people who don't know by it. That's why the kings never told you about the maps they had. They never told you about what they found in the foreign lands. That's why half of y'all still think that Columbus discovered America. It's like, nope, they knew America was there for thousands of years. And they just never told you. Look at the Perry Reese map. They always keep secrets from you. Like, oh, they found a new country, a new continent. No, they didn't. People been living there a long time. Long time people been living there. They've been buried stuff under Oak Island. The Romans were here. The Vikings were here. The damn Chinese were here. They've all been here. But we didn't find out about it till Columbus. Why? Because they always lie to you because you're liable. Because you consent to them lying to you. Corporate farmers are the last folks to be environmentalists. They are, Jeannie, because they just want to make money like everybody else. They're like the bankers, like the police, like the DHS, the FBI, security work for this people. Everybody just want to make money. They all just, and you make the most money working for a big farming corporation with a pesticide spraying schedule. That pesticide executive spray, the executives for the pesticide company, they get money from Monsanto and these big corporations, so they step up the schedule. Why? Because they get an extra mansion, they get an extra Benz, they get sent on a trip every year, and that CEO or that CFO will take the money because they're getting that payola. That's how it works. We live in a corrupt world from corporations to government. That's why corporations can't have secrets and governments can't have secrets. That's why I always default back to solution. You just yelling. No, I'm not yelling. We got solutions. We just too stupid to deploy them. We're still busy fighting poor people instead of the wealthy people murdering everybody, giving all these children autism. Case in point, what they've done at Flint. Exactly. What did they do for Standing Rock? Exactly, Brother Mark. Absolutely nothing. Ooh, the government is here to protect you. I laugh at that, Mark. People say all the time, oh yeah, well, we're going to get a new people in the government. They're going to be for us. They're going to protect us. And that's just not the case. Hang on a second. YouTube comments must be hung. I can't see the people on YouTube commenting on the screen right there. I see them over here. I don't see them right there. YouTube don't like me much right now. I don't know why. Hang on a second. I don't know why. All I say is the same thing every day. Y'all, we need to love each other. Need to stop playing this game. We're all being played against each other. I don't know what's going on. No, I don't see any YouTube. I see some YouTube. It's not refreshing. That's what's not happening. It's not refreshing. I can see y'all commenting. Hold on, let me see. Yeah, well, they just did some sort of an update and they're screwing with it. I'm sorry, YouTube, but I will read your comments over here. I can't get them on the screen. I'll read them over here. Ancient cities look like a circuit board. Yeah, they do, Augustine. They did, which is very interesting. Very interesting. But you know what? Well, do ancient cities look like a circuit board, or do circuit boards look like ancient cities? Think about cellular memory and DNA and its ability to store information and pass it down generation to generation. Perhaps somebody was looking at it from above. Perhaps we created circuit boards because we knew what they looked like from above. Perhaps we were told. Who knows? We don't know anything. We're stupid because we have a CIA. We're stupid because we keep cheering for the people who own us to have secrets over us and abuse us with those secrets. Divide and conquer, oldest trick in the book. Oldest trick in the book, Patricia, but it worked, don't it? It worked. It worked every day. It worked. It worked like, oh my goodness, does it work? They're just out there just fighting each other. Divide and conquer works. Oh, it works fantastic. They're not going to stop it because it works. We are divided. We are dividable and conquerable. And so the elites would be too stupid to not use that. If I were elite, that's what I'd be doing, Patricia. I'm sorry. And I don't blame the elites. I don't blame one bit. If I were them, I would be dividing the y'all and conquering y'all, because that's what we do. That's what we do. You're born into it. That's what you become. You get indoctrinated to it. Your baby, your daddy raised you, your mama raised you, your uncle, your family, your class. You get in that. You go to school, get your education, Ivy League, and you believe that you're supposed to own everybody, and you will act like that. And you don't see the poor people standing up. And so the poor people standing up, why would I change the world? I got billions of dollars in a bunker, and y'all are happy with it. Y'all go to work every morning. Why the hell would I change? I wouldn't do it, damn. Patricia, if I was them, I'd do the same thing. I don't blame them one bit. Ingenious system. Ingenious system. And the poor people love being abused by the police. They love it. The black people love Black Lives Not Mattering. The white people love White Lives Not Mattering too. And the Hispanics in America, they love people related closely to them from Latin America walking to the border. Why? Because we tolerate it. We're all consenting to it. That's why I'm not in any groups. I'm not in any groups. Because these people are nuts. Except Assad and Maduro aren't really doing it. Their accusers are, right? Assad and Maduro, and you know what, and they're not good guys. I don't think they're good guys. I don't think a good guy would want to abuse and lead. I don't think good people want to lead you. I don't believe that. But they are definitely being abused. Their nations are being abused by the military-industrial complex in our country. But I don't think that they're good people, but I don't think that we should topple them either. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think anybody wants to own anybody else. What good person wants to own somebody else? What good person wants to tell you what to do, what a law is, what's legal, what you can and can't do? What kind of good, evolved, sentient person would do that? Tell me which of your politicians is sentient. Tell me one. Tell me one. I want to know one. Somebody give me a sentient politician. I want to know a sentient leader. I want to know what sentient person wants to tell other sovereign creatures how to live their lives. Somebody, anybody. Watch the view count go down. I'm not making any spaces, Patricia, for nonsense. And there's too much nonsense happening. RFK Jr. sues Big Pharma and his party hates him. He's my, oh Lord, here we go. Here's my 2020. But even if he ran as an independent, they kill him just like, there you go. They kill him just like his daddy, his uncle, and his cousin. Yes, they would. That's why when people say they find these people, Jesse Ventura, Ron Paul, and whoever else, they want him to be president. And I'm just like, people, we have an oligarchy. It doesn't matter who the president is. It means nothing. We got to get out of the slave mine. And I appreciate that you see that too, because they would just kill RFK. If they got RFK Jr. in there, he'd do the same thing Trump is doing. He'd do the same thing Obama's doing, the same thing Clinton's doing. We are not in control of it. They are not in control of this. This is an oligarchy. And if you abuse their profit, they'll kill you. Like the brother was saying when we were talking about Nipsey Hussle the other day. The brother, how did Nipsey Hussle put it? Because they were asking him on the morning show, why would they kill Dr. Sebi? And he said, because he got in the way of the grind. That's it. He got in the way of the grind. Well, that's not personal. Dr. Sebi could cure cancer, AIDS, and all these things, and he got away of the pharmaceutical company's grind. You get in the way of the grind, you're going to get murdered. You get in the way of the grind of a crackhead who wants to buy some crack because you got a TV in your house. That crackhead will break your window, kill you, murder your kids, and rape you, take the TV, and go get their crack. Why? Because that's what addiction does. And these people, these governments are addicted to money. These politicians are addicted to power. You get in the way of their grind, these corporations are addicted to stock prices. They will murder you for it. That's why it doesn't matter who's president, doesn't matter who's the Speaker of the House. I don't even know who the Speaker of the House is. Does the Senate have a Speaker? I don't even know who that is either. I don't know who leads this pack or that pack, and I don't know who the lead Democrat is, the lead Republican. None of it matters. None of them matter. Money makes the world go round. That's it. That's it. Oh, I wish that the YouTube comments would work. I'm so sorry, YouTube. Let me see how I can fix this with these people real quick. Let me calm down. Ooh, let's breathe. Let's breathe. There is hope with hemp. Brother Kelly, there is hope with hemp, and I want to show you something today. Oh, do I want to show you something? Because I was looking at 3D printing technology. Oh my goodness, have they made an advancement? Brother Kelly, have they? Hemp can save the world. Hold on. Let y'all comment. This is my cooling down. Cool down. It's a cool down. It's actually not a cool down. I'm typing something. I'm trying to bring YouTube back up in the comment section. I can't do two things at once. Y'all gotta be patient with me. The older you get, the less you can pat your head and chew bubble gum and walk at the same time. You fall and hit your face. There we go. YouTube's back. There we go. Whew. So I have to focus, but I want to focus in life. I used to have to be a master of all trades. I don't want to do that no more. But you get in the way of the grind and they'll murder you. So it doesn't really matter who the presidents are. That's why I say stop voting. Once you realize it's the system that's the problem, you stop voting. If you still believe the fantasy world that our kings and lords have manufactured for us through secrets, then we got a problem. I'm gonna show you something in a minute, Brother Kelly. Let me go through comments real quick. Let me see. It's not Monsanto, it's Bayer now, right? And they changed the name. That's why I like to keep saying Monsanto Bayer. I keep throwing it because the devil can change his name, but he's still the devil. The Council on Foreign Relations. Yes, Angie. People don't even know what the Council on Foreign Relations are, and they still love watching their televisions. Many U.S. states get their drinking water from rivers where the runoff from the fields is all those rivers. Exactly, Ivana. And guess what? And the politicians, they're not going to do nothing about it. This is why I drink spring water. And I have a particular water I drink because it comes from a mountain, and I'm hoping and praying the mountain is above the runoff from the glyphosate and the 11 popular pesticides they find all the kids peeing out. It's not above the chemtrails, though. It's not above what's coming out the back of them damn airplanes. But you know, that's a good point. Somebody should actually do that, to take that study where they said all American kids, they found the 11 popular pesticides in them. They should take that study and compare that with autism, right? The kids are literally peeing out the evidence. They are literally, with every squirt, peeing out the evidence that the adults in their countries are morons, and we consent to them being poisoned. We consent to them having a reduced future and taking their freedoms biologically through brain activity because we want to keep our politicians in office. We want to keep our leaders leading. Why is that why leading into an age of autism en masse? Why is that a good place to lead? Because you get healthcare and a wall. Somebody explain that to me. All right. This time Eve didn't eat the apple. She blew it up. Okay, Dolores. Oh, goodness. But why would they classify that document? That's got me discombobulated. And of course, it's not in the document they released. The goodies aren't in the released document. They got rid of that. All right, let me see. Take a breath. I'm still breathing, Kelly. I'm calming down. I did my calm down thing. Biochar, democracy now. Let me see. Social media is an arm of the oppressor. It's the game. It is, Tina, and they play the game. We get, like I said, we get right in our avatars and we start to playing. You know, I think about the video games we used to play as kids. We keep playing, so they keep playing us. Why would they stop pressing the fire button if we fire every time they say it? I think about an arcade now, because like that's what we do. Like when you're playing, you had to hit it hard, like that. And that's what we would do. We play the video games. You just, hey, if the game keeps working, you keep playing it, right? When do you stop playing? When do the elite stop playing people with the joystick? Literally their joystick. When it says tilt, right? When you stop seeing the cartoons running across the stage and mine patrol and shooting the asteroids going through the mine, jumping over things, I'm thinking about Rygar and Mortal Kombat and all these games. When the players stop playing and the video game says tilt, what do? You hit it. It says tilt and you bang the side of the video game. Like, how come this ain't working? You take out the cartridge and you blow them. Let me give him some health care. Let me give him a wall. Let me tell him I love him. What's her name? Y'all want me to look at that lady, Marianne somebody? Let me talk about energy and spirituality and Buddhism and meditation. You blow the video game, hit the video game, put it back in, push it down, you know, but it's the same oligarchical game. But that's what they get, that's what they play. When we stop marching, we stop acting like avatars, we stop acting like a damn video game, we stop responding to them hitting us, we stop responding to their carrot walking like a horse, then that's when the oligarchy actually can stop playing us. That's when we get some progression. Until then, there's no progression. It's all a video game. Let me see. Look inside the shell. Mind blown, Tina says. Always look where they tell you not to look. Always look where they tell you not to look. That's the only place you need to look. You don't need to look anywhere in the news. Everything in the news, they've already figured out. They've already perfected. They got it going. I got to show you something. I was going to show this to Brother Kelly because we talk about hemp and 3D printing. We can print your whole world. The bottom line, they can print everything. Everything can be free. Everything they can roll off 3D printers. But the problem with 3D printers is they take so long. They take a long time to print stuff. So let me show you this. They take a long time.
Wawa Classic Hoagies are only $4.99.
Uh-oh, hang on. Advertisements everywhere.
Sure. Not only can it produce everyday objects, but could one day be capable of creating life itself. Kind of scary, actually. RT's Trinity Chavez reports.
Scientists have created a new 3D printer that uses light to transform gooey liquids into complex, solid objects in only a matter of minutes, and could one day be capable of creating living organs. Nicknamed the Replicator after the Star Trek device that can materialize any object on demand, the 3D printer can create objects that are smoother, more flexible, and more complex than what's currently possible with traditional 3D printers. It can also encase an already existing object with new materials, like adding this handle to a metal screwdriver shaft. The researchers were able to create a 3D printer that makes objects the way a CT scan creates a 3D image, by X-raying a patient from many different directions, allowing objects to be printed all at once, opposed to layer by layer using light. It's called volumetric printing. Here's how it works. The printer is made up using a video projector and a cylindrical glass container filled with a light-sensitive material, or resin, that can rotate. The projector shines patterns of light onto the material, which determine the shape of the end product. As the light accumulates in certain areas, the gel begins to harden. Then in about 30 seconds, a solid 3D object is formed. Not in layers, but all.
This is the part where y'all tell me how much they need humans. This is the part where you tell me how important your job is, and you work in manufacturing, and we got a future in fighting each other over race and religion and nations and cities and states and any other stupid things that you watch the news and they get you to fight each other over. Tell me again how we got a future. Tell me again how all these people who don't have jobs because you have no manufacturing, because they literally print the houses, print the cars, print the organs so they can live forever, and your kids and y'all are dying and got autism. Tell me it's going to be jobs in the future. Tell me it's going to be jobs in the future. Go ahead and tell me. The technology is there where we could feed the whole world, we could clothe the whole world, we could house the whole world, and we can 3D print organs quick, and nobody would die. But we spend most of our money on making weapons to murder people because we believe in violence and we're constantly agreeing with the conflict of politicians. This is the future. Well, let me say that the right way. This is their future. It's not your future. It's not the future of your kids. Not unless you got billions of dollars in the bank. This is their future. They don't need us. They don't need us at all. So think about this, because that's the other thing people say. Oh, well, the robots aren't going to come and kill us because they won't turn the robots on because we got to repair the robots. Oh, yeah? Do you mean to tell me they're 3D printing hard shell gel-made robots from hard rubber or plastic, and they're reprinting the parts you shoot off with the gun faster than you can shoot them off with the gun? And you're going to beat the robots. They still need humans. They don't need us at all. And they're going to let us all die of autism and pesticide poisoning and cancer so they can have their world. That's what they want. That's why they keep secrets from us. They want their world. And we're stupid enough to go along with it. Healthy life is the only good health care. It is, and it's empowering, isn't it, Christine? When you're healthy, you can do anything. When you're sick, then you're beholden to government. You're beholden to the people who hold the medicine. And these people are evil. These people are killers. They simply insert a new game. It's impossible to defeat the controllers. They likely need drawn. Oh, right. They need to be drawn and quartered. Right. And that's a good example, Georgia. It's like you're playing, I don't know, what's a video game we used to play? We used to play Asteroid. And it's like you're sitting there shooting all the asteroids. The controllers tell you to control to shoot on the news, and you think you're going to beat the elite that are actually controlling the joystick. It's the dumbest idea ever. But people want to go out and keep voting, and that's why I just watch. Glyphosate hoagie. Right, exactly. And that's, and that's the point, Georgia. They make you hungry. You want to be gluttonous, so you go out and you eat their chemical products, and so you get cancer, and you wonder, where is cancer coming from? It's coming from your vote. You pull the lever and you keep voting for the system, and that's why you have it. Doesn't matter who you vote for. You keep voting to get cancer, you're going to get cancer. You keep voting for your kids to get autism and cancer, they're going to get it. It's all a video game. Brother Chris Lewis is enough. Chris Lewis! I was talking about you, brother. I talked about you for the first 10 minutes. I'm sorry, your video affected me yesterday. I can't stand that when little kids see their parents being roughed up by the police. I have a problem with that. We got to end this oligarchy in this police state. Damn it, stop trying to film the cops. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm going to take a pause. I got to yell at Chris for a minute. Stop trying to film the damn police. They're the dragoons. Don't antagonize them. They're going to do their job. Their job is to catch slaves, and that is us, all poor people. If you don't got $1 billion in the bank, all right, we need you around, man. You got a voice. You can't be sitting in no cell nowhere. That's not helping nobody. All right. Done with that. But go back, watch the beginning of the video, Chris. I yelled at you for the first 10 minutes, man. I was yelling at you for the first 10, 15, was it 20 minutes, something, 30? I don't know how long I was yelling. I was yelling at you. I was pissed. I was pissed. Man, leave them cops alone. Leave them alone. When they pull over, yes, sir. No, sir. Thank you, sir. No, sir. Yes. Yep. I'm slave. Yep. Whatever they say to you. Yep. I'm black. Yep. I eat chicken. Yep. Watermelon. Yep. And if you're on the white side, yep. I use too much mayonnaise. Yep. Damn sure I do. I eat it, boy. You know what? Listen, I'm too fat. If that's what you are, yeah, I'm too fat. I'm this, that. Agree with the people with the gun. Take your ticket and send them on the way. Do not challenge people who are trying to put bread on their table by following the abusive laws. Don't do it. Don't do it. Because while you're sitting there in the side of the car, every house you see when you get pulled over by the police, almost every house you see are all people who voted for the police state, and they're going to vote for it again. They're voting for the people who wrote the laws that make us slaves, and they're going to do it again. That's why you got to play chess. Don't play checkers. Do not take on. We don't need to see anybody else shot by the police. We don't need to see the video, Chris. I love you to death, brother. We don't need to see it. We don't. Get yourself a hidden dash cam, like Sister Deborah said, if you need to do that, but do not film the police. Leave it alone. We already know. The whole world knows. They done put the cameras on the police. The whole world knows all the police are doing exactly what the debt collecting corporations bought from the politicians and the laws they wrote. They're collecting debts. Now we need to push to get the body cameras on the politicians. But don't be an example. We don't need any more examples. We got plenty of examples, especially not people like you that got a voice. All right, I'm done yelling at Chris. Back. That will be my next 3D printer. I love 3D printing. And well, Nikki, and that's the thing. Like, we got the old 3D printers that take 8 hours. You like want to make a cup, and it's like, all right, press start. Boop. And it's like, and 8 hours later, you got one cup. Like, yay, this is gonna be manufacturing. Now they got the laser, and it's light. They basically, it is a replicator. It literally is a Star Trek replicator where they just focus the light in a jelly, and all of a sudden, out pops out whatever you want. I know, it's crazy. Oh, I had a joke. I'm not gonna say it. Marianne Williamson is a kind of Eslian. I don't know what that is. It's a big word, Jeannie. Dumb it down for him. Put it in layman's terms. You know, I'm just a regular person. Be careful. Be careful when you like everything you hear in politics. Lots of laughter. Well, they all because they tell you what you want to hear, and that's what she's doing. I know where Brother Kevin. He gonna get on me in a minute, but I'm not, because he likes Marianne Williamson, and I like what she says. I like what she says, but I get the system she's going into won't let her do any of the things she's saying. I like some of the things Trump said. I like some of the things Obama said. Did I like anything Clinton said? Yeah, I did, because she used to be for like universal health care. I like some of the things Clinton said. But the reality is you have an oligarchy. They're saying these things as a show to get you to support them. The oligarchy has no interest in that. They're not going to let these people get in the way of the grind, right? Same thing with Nipsey Hussle. Why is Nipsey Hussle dead? He got in the way of the grind. And they say, oh, that's conspiracy. No, all murder is a conspiracy, number one. I didn't say which grind he got in the way of. He could have got in the way of the grind of a poor guy who used to be his friend in the gang that killed him. He was getting in the way of the grind, working with the LAPD, trying to end gang violence, or he got in the way of the grind of the pharmaceutical industries and the chemical companies and everybody making money on people dying. He got in the way of the universal healthcare industry, because you know that was an industry, did you? That's an industry. He got in the way of the cancer industry because Dr. Sebi was getting in the way of the grind. You get in the way of the grind, they kill you. Marianne Williamson will either be killed or she will not do what she says she'll do. Kamala will be killed or she's not going to do what Bernie will be killed or he's not going to be, because that's just the grind. It's just money. It is so simple. It's so simple. I don't know why. Somebody tell me why people don't understand this. Please tell me. Why? Do they not want to understand? Is that it? They just don't want to see it? They're scared? And it cost a lot. Let me see. And they cost a lot for big parts. Saw one the other day that created metal parts, $100,000 for a printer. Right, exactly. Well, Megs, they price it outside of what we can afford. The corporations, they make them and they probably cost about $30 to make. $30 and maybe $300, something like that. And they'll get them and they'll print them out to make killer robots, but you think they're going to print them out to make wheelchairs for the kids over in Palestine from the Democrats and the Republicans supporting Israel, shooting and murdering all these kids? And oppressing the Jews in Israel? No, they're not going to print they're not going to print. And even if they did print wheelchairs for those kids, Israel's the government, Netanyahu, the Zionists who are fighting the God of the Torah, they're not even going to let it in. Yes, I said it that way for a reason. Because the truth hurts. And we say the truth and people understand that it's not anti-Semitism. The anti-Semites are the Zionists who are actually oppressing the Jews in Israel. Man, that reporter is gorgeous. Yes, she was, Kelly. She's fine. What? Kelly, she's fine. That was, what's her name? Chavez? I know. Lord have mercy. I know. And that's why they do it. They make them pretty so you'll watch. They'll make them pretty so you'll jump into it. And that's why I asked the other day, anybody ever notice that the politicians are getting prettier and prettier? Anybody noticing that? The politicians are getting sexier and sexier. Anybody noticing that? Is anyone starting to feel like this is a pharmaceutical commercial? Is anyone starting to feel like politics really is that politics Jeannie's talking about? They're starting to make them prettier and prettier so we'll watch more, we'll vote more. I know, because they play us. They're always playing. Always. That's just the new button. They added a new button to the video game. So now you got the joystick, you got the fire button and the brake button. The pretty button. They do it intentionally. Absolutely. 3D printers are great for prototypes and manufacturing. Yes, they are, Megs. You know what the other thing they're good for? Hey, Dee. You know the other thing? They're good for when billionaires want to go to the moon. That's what they're good for. They're good for when billionaires want to go to Mars and get the hell away from us because they've destroyed this planet. That's what they're good for. Why? Because when they go there, they don't need to take us. They don't need our manufacturing. They don't need our carrying weight and putting things together. They can 3D print everything they want right from that moon or Mars, that base that we're building for them by going to work every day. Printing food soon, yes, Jeannie, but not for us. For the billionaires. Printing healthy food too. Healthy organic food with all the nutrients and minerals and vitamins, and you just bite it, just melts in your mouth. Ooh, the steak. Oh my goodness. They just print all kind of good, delicious food, but it's not for us. They're starving the hell out of us. Look at the Appalachian Mountains. Look at poor kids in the ghetto. Adam and Eve may be us, and we are eating off the damn tree of fake life. There may be no knowledge of good and evil. It's the knowledge of fraudulent, systematic, right and wrong. Go on, brother. We believe it and took away from our natural understanding of life. Yes, Chris, we are these little. We are their toys. They literally play. They literally play with us. Rapid prototype. Oh, I gotta go down. I'm sorry. I wanted to read that both font. I can't. I gotta go down because I'm too high up in the comments and the screen starts rolling and I can't. Now I read half a comment. They're all going to let us die. Meanwhile, they make money off us till our shelves lives are over. Our shelf lives are over. And they're almost over. Then they just say next, and that's what they're doing, Sharon. Like our shelf lives are coming to an end. The human labor shelf life, it's coming to an end. That's why I tell people, don't worry about the money. Don't worry. Well, I gotta save up for retirement. No, you don't. You don't have to worry about it. Money will have no value very soon. Very soon. And you can see it because they don't really care about it. You can see the elites are just letting the American dollar collapse. They could care less. Money has no value. The only purpose for money was human labor. It was a way to get you off of your farm, to give up your land, to get to the city, to get a job. And they convinced you that, yeah, this is going to be a lasting, sustainable thing. And it's like, no pyramid Ponzi scheme currency system is a lasting, sustainable thing, especially when it starts failing and they make it a fiat currency. None of those things last. It's not sustainable. And they knew it was going to collapse from the very beginning. But you sold your land. They got your land. You can't grow no food. You can't live. You can't take care of yourself. You can't drink the water so they can poison you. That's how it goes. And it's not even conspiracy theory. We just walk right into it. It's just how it happens, right? It's how it happens. When you believe the kings and the lords, bad things happen to you and your next generations. But the human shelf life is coming to an end, and that's why money's going away. The only purpose for money was human labor. Human labor has no more purpose. They have the technology to get rid of us now. They're just not telling us now because there's probably too many of us and we might fight back. We might walk away from the system, and they're not going to let that happen. That's why they're not telling us nothing. All right, let me see. Whew. Okay, and you aren't reacting with emotion. ST this moment. Your aversions to emotion isn't the problem. What are y'all talking? Y'all talking, Tina? Who y'all? Are y'all going back and forth? Don't film them fight. Well, no, don't fight them, Kelly. Don't fight them. They got guns, brother. Don't do that. Don't fight them. Don't do that. Don't fight them. Well, fight them not physically. If you got a problem with police, your issues with your politician. That's who your issues. Your issues with your system, the ones who actually write their laws. I'm watching again. Yeah, Chris, you need to. I wasn't too nice to you. I love you, but I ain't gonna be nice to people I love. Nope. You need to leave them police alone. Leave them alone. Carter is built tough, at least. He is built tough, and that's the problem, Chris. He's tough and he's a critical thinker, and he's in the back of the car watching police push him around. That toughness gonna come out in another way. That's why I don't want him and you anywhere near no damn police. Lots of laughter. My hubs mentioned Mick Jagger is in the hospital. Then he said, heck, how is Keith even still alive? Yeah, I said blood transfusion. You know, that's a good question. That is a good question, Jeannie, because when you think about it, some of those elites are outliving us. What's the number one war criminal in Washington? I forgot his name. What's the number one war criminal still alive? He didn't live forever. He's still alive, still kicking around. Done murder, responsible for the murder of millions of people. And he's like a consultant to every president administration. I forgot the bastard's name, but he looked like he lived forever. And the Rockefellers look like they live forever. But I'm convinced though you get so old to a point, these organs or whatever. Kissinger, yes, Henry Kissinger. I don't know who said that. On spot on point. Johnny on the spot. Who's that? Susan on the spot? Henry Kissinger, the man's still alive. I think after a while the bodies can't do anymore. They can't 3D print organs for him anymore. That they'll take that movie. What's the name of that movie? That racist movie? What's the name of that racist movie? Is Chris here? Chris still here? The name of that racist movie where they told black men y'all should not date white women because white women gonna take you to parties and they're gonna take your body. What's the name of that racist movie? Get Out! That racist movie, they're trying to keep everybody breeding amongst the other herd animals that look like them, got the same color fur they got. That racist movie. I think after a while they can't 3D print organs and they just take bodies. That's what I think. I think like the reason they'll hide Adam and Eve, the reason why the CIA would hide the document talking about Adam and Eve and creation, maybe because it does talk about the fact that we are these spiritual creatures, that we are wave energy. We are these things that we can't barely understand because matter doesn't actually exist and quantum physics actually is real. Maybe they realize that they can somehow 5G it out of you. 5G it out of you. And then they can take Kissinger's energy and put it in the next person. Like, it sounds crazy. It's like, that's a stretch. How much of it was a stretch to make an airplane? How much was a stretch to make a fax machine? How much was a stretch to make a car? How much was it a stretch to make a probe to go to the furthest? Everything we conceive, we can achieve. Like, to me, it's just technology. Technology is always worship, right? Like, we're a cargo cult. We actually worship people or creatures for technology we can't understand. So do I think that they can take Henry Kissinger, the greatest war criminal since the beginning of time, only because John McCain is now dead? Or he died, maybe he didn't die. Maybe they use 5G or 6G, maybe it's 10G, and they sucked his energy out and they put it in somebody else. They're like, that's crazy. No, it's not crazy. You know why? Because the CIA hid the story of creation from the Adam and Eve essay. And in the Bible, the scripture talks about exorcism. What is an exorcism? Oh, I see where you're going with that. Right. When Christ went and got the spiritual enemy out of the human and put it in the pigs. Oh, you mean all that stuff all the ancient cultures talked about? You mean the fact that the Vatican, they stepped up the exorcist classes because they needed to do a lot more exorcisms. Why? Who's playing with exorcism technology? Maybe that was something Thoth talked about. Oh, maybe that's the Book of the Dead, but I'm not supposed to read that because I'm Christian. You better study the Show Thyself Approved. You better study. It's just technology. That's what I'm saying. To me, it doesn't really matter if God is on a puff of cloud on smoke, or if he's like a chemical engineer or a genetic engineer. To me, it's all the same thing. It's always the same thing because technology always seems fantastical until it's not. Take somebody from 200 years ago and put them in your life today. You know what they would do? If they just watch your like 30 minutes of your day, you playing with your smartphone, you playing with your laptop, you driving a car, you, I don't know, using a bathroom from somebody from 200 years ago, when they make toilets, okay, take somebody from 300 years ago. They would think you were a demon. They would worship you. They would create a cargo cult around you. And no difference than the cargo cults that I like to call Democrats and Republicans. That's a cargo cult nonetheless. We always worship people that have greater technologies than what we have. All right, there we go. Did you hear about Nipsey Hussle's killer? They found Nipsey Hussle's killer already convenient. Of course, Susan, because they knew who it was all the time. I personally, the way my brain works is I think they done sent somebody. That's what I think. I think they knew somebody that hated him. They were reading the text messages and they said, you know what? We can get this guy to go do it. And they went and they got him to go do it. Whether it's Manchurian Candidate, MK Ultra type stuff or whatever, I'm convinced the world is not ever the way we think it is, because I believe in whistleblowers and they're always telling us we're always being played, that they're always using all of this stuff. Let me see. Tangent. Yeah, well, Jeannie, I think it's all related. I don't think it's a tangent. I look at things like, you know what? I realize that I'm 98% monkey and I don't know anything. So I listen to all the whistleblowers and they say all this stuff is like happening. You know, let me take this off. They say that all this stuff is constantly happening and that there's always technology that we know nothing about. And then you start seeing the news and the news starts releasing it. And the next thing you know, it's like the real deal. You know, to me, that means that we're always being lied to and that we live in false reality, that we literally live in the matrix. We live in multiple matrixes. So I don't think it's a tangent. I just think that we need to pay more attention and we need to trust all the sources that are constantly going back to ancient Egypt and now. That reality is not what we think it is. We're lost in these like biological human creatures and, you know, these biological things, and we're focused on, hang on, scripture's coming to mind. We're focused on things that are solid. And we were told that we're on the earth, but we're not of the earth. That we are spiritual creatures, but we're lost in the world of the solids. And I think we got to get beyond that. Let me see. Uh-oh, it's playing with my video. I don't see things are changing for me. Let me see. I don't know what's going on here. Everything our TV says about Assad over here is bull poop. I believe it, Patricia. I think it's all crap. I think it's all crap. I don't trust none of it. I haven't watched the news in days, Patricia. I mean, even international news, after a while, I get tired of that. It's all a false reality. It's just somebody else's false reality, so I can figure out what's happening in my country by looking at somebody else's false reality instead of the one that's designed for my little ignorant butt. The replicator of Star Trek is fine until it turns... Oh, yes! Oh, Brother Gustin, stop it! He's tuning into my Trekkie bone. The replicator, you're right, the replicator of Star Trek is fine until it's turned to the replicator of Stargate. Oh my gosh, Augustine, go! Nobody knows what you're talking about but me. This is why you gotta watch sci-fi, y'all. I think a lot of sci-fi are like stories from the past. You know how like Star Wars actually was a story that came out of the Vedic text? It wasn't original. I think Star Trek and Stargate. You ever want to start looking at what the world really is what the world really is like? I think you got to watch all the Stargates, watch all the Star Treks. The replicators were the robots that we need to worry about, Augustine, and that's the scary thing. And ain't no fighting back against that. They will replicate each other, but they have drones that are doing something similar to that now. Right? Where they just make the robots that print more robots, print more robots, print more robots, print more robots. And that's the powerful thing about that 3D printer is that, yeah, you are at a point where you're talking about printing complex circuit boards, circuitry, plumbing, and robots. You know, it's not a big stretch where they're making their own robots. And then they're making the replicators to make more robots. How many bullets you got? Jim Bob, how many bullets you got? You know, you don't have that many bullets. I watched Stargate. You'll see the replicators. Let me see. Oh, I love the flow of these talks you have. Tangents are where we are. We are, Jeannie, because I think it's all related, and I think the tangents all do this thing. That's why I love doing this, too. I love the discussion. Like, I can say things, and you say something, and I'll say something. Augustine says something, and that camps on what Tina said. Tina said something. Kelly said something. And it all fits together with what Georgia said to begin with, and what Deborah said made sense. Then this is how we are. We're a hive. We are a hive mind. Like, I'll go back sometimes, and I'll look at these old videos that, well, I don't watch them. I hate watching myself, but I'll go back and like, dang, I made all these videos. And they last like an hour and a half. Then I watch other YouTube videos and they're like 5 minutes, one and done. Like, I can't do the one and done. To me, it's a discussion. I'm trying to figure it out. I ain't got to figure it out. You can do a quick video. Good. You got to figure it out. I don't have nothing to figure out. I need all these crazy people to add in with chemtrails and vaccines and doctors and names and Kissinger and all of this stuff. Because when we act like a hive, man, that's a powerful thing. That's a powerful thing. That's why I don't do videos. I don't do shows. It's not a show. I'm not showing you nothing. It's a discussion. It's a discussion amongst a lot of people I respect, and they come from all the different areas of life that I'm always chastising. The left and the right, and the Democrats and Republicans, and this side, that side, Americans, the Patriots, whatever. But they all got a piece of the puzzle, and we won't all know the full puzzle till we put it all together. And it takes other people to put it all together. So to me, it's a discussion. It's not a show. I'm not showing anybody anything. I know some things, but all these people here know a hell of a lot more than I do when you put it all together. Pay or attention. Pay or attention is not the same as chasing our tails, looking for some source of validity outside of ourselves. Both I always say something deep. It's not saying people smarter than me. Pay or attention. Pay attention. Like, pay attention is a thing, and you're saying pay or attention. It's not the same thing as chasing our tails, looking for some source of validity outside of ourselves. But I think if I'm tracking right, you're going back to what, like sovereignty and looking for some sort of meaning outside of things, like always searching. Like, within us, we're all gods, and that's what the scripture told us before they deleted the Gnostic text, that it's all inside of us. You don't really need to look outside. I think a lot of the pay attention to what's happening around you is for waking people up, right? Because they still believe in what's around us. And so when I say pay attention, I'm saying people need to pay attention and look around, that you're literally living in a manufactured reality, that everything great is within yourself. And both you are on that level. You are definitely on that level. But a lot of people are still chasing their tails, and they're trying to, end the fantasy. And so I think you got to be in the world, but not of the world. Like, you got to be in that world and pay attention, and then help wake other people up and be honest about what's really going on, but not know that you're not of the world. Know that you're something great. You know what I mean? So if I'm tracking, let me see. Star Wars has already happened. Yeah, it did, Christine. It did, but people don't want to read that. That blew me away when I watched that. When I watched someone talk about it, and how they took Star Wars from the Vedic text, the Wookiee and the princess, and they stole the princess, and that video got released of the princess they found on the moon, and Donna Hare and the departments of NASA and the other 100 people who worked with NASA talking about how they're lying about everything, and that create all those lies and misconnected things and fake pictures created the flat earthers. That's why I think it all makes sense. It all makes sense to me. It all makes sense, and not that I know it all, but it all makes sense that we're all being lied to. We're in a false reality. We need to stop going along with this nonsense. All right, we fit together. We do fit together, Megs. We are one big puzzle. Everybody's got a piece of it, and they get you to offend other people so those people won't give you the piece of it, their piece. That's why conflict, divide, and conquer works so well. Back to the Adam and Eve document. You think they retracted the Stargate? It's always possible. I don't know, John. Like, I believe in the Stargate. I think like the theories of the Stargate, it makes sense. And it makes sense that we hide nuclear weapons underground in these missile silos, and we hide gold and our treasures underground. I think if there were a Stargate, that the angels would have hid it underground. It would be in the Labyrinth somewhere, like Thoth said in the Book of the Dead, or the Emerald Tablets, that he put his spaceship underground in case we ever needed it. And I think the CIA is trying to find the damn thing. You know, I think we've been to the moon and Mars and whatever, and so if there were a Stargate, it makes sense. I mean, the vastness of space is ridiculous. Like, to even fathom how far things are apart and to get there on like fossil fuels or light technology, it's a ridiculous concept. But to get there on like warp drive, to get there on some sort of a Stargate, some sort of a Hadron Collider, God particle explosion that creates a Stargate that allows you, that bends time and space, that takes you from planet A to planet B, that actually makes a lot of sense to me, right? And quantum physics is going way down that rabbit hole, letting us know that all these things are possible. You know, so does having a Stargate make sense? Yeah, I think it does make sense. It makes sense because who wants to get in spaceships and travel for months at a time? I mean, like, think about how advanced we are now. We have a Stargate now. It's called a fax machine. We got a Stargate now. And the wormhole is the wire, and the electricity travels over the wire. So you mean to tell me, and we did this in what, when did we go from the wheel till now? Not the wheel. When did we go from like the first electric circuit till now to a fax machine? 50 years? I don't know. I mean, and so if we can do that in 50 years after we discover electricity, or let's say Tesla, to fax machine, if we can do that in 50 years, less than 50 years, what can a creature, a species that's 1 million years in front of us do? Create a Stargate. Easily. Wouldn't even need 1,000 years if we did that in 50. You know, so to me, I think all those things are plausible. All of those things are plausible. That's why governments can't have secrets. CIAs can't have, we can't even have CIAs in the Constitution, let alone them have secrets from us. Nor can big corporations, because they're giving us autism and they're poisoning us. So yeah, I think Stargates are real. I do. Did they find them? Don't know. I have no idea, but I absolutely think that they're real because it makes sense. We have Stargates now. We use them all the time. An elevator is a Stargate. Well, give it the right name. A fax machine isn't a Stargate. A fax machine is a office gate, and an elevator is a floor gate. So we're always making gates. Y'all put gates in front of your yard to control who gets to come in and who gets to go out. We put gates all the time, and we hide those gates. We put locks on those gates because we don't want everybody using them. And that's the whole philosophy of the Stargate. And that's why you would hide it underground. And that's why the CIA would lie about this document called Adam and Eve creation. Because what if the God thing, like, I don't know, I think there's a big G God and there are little G gods. Like, think about, would Big G God, a creator of all of this, have to fly here in a ship? Like this ship Ezekiel saw with the fire spraying out and the Mahabharata and all the things that they saw? Would a Big G God that can make a planet, does it need a ship and fire? No, it doesn't. Enoch went up. Does it need that? No, it doesn't. If anything, either it like uses its maximum energy, a source type thing where it makes planet and it doesn't need any technology, or it would like use a Stargate. Then it would just appear here, make a planet, do whatever, massage this, whatever, and get out of here. But it might leave a Stargate on the planet for us to find later. You know, if I were that big G or one of the little G, mid-sized G gods, because I don't even think a big G god would need a Stargate. If I were like a mid-G size god, I'd come here on a Stargate, I'd make everything, put the moon, put in the right orbits or whatever, I'd talk to a few of the creatures, let them know, give them some stone tablets, tell them to make it in stone, etch it in this, etch it in that, so they never would lose it. I'd take the Stargate, might put it under a big pile of rocks called a pyramid, so the dummies can't get to it. The Ungabungas, the ones with the bone in their nose, running around with the clubs, beating each other in the head, stealing their wives, their land, and their oil. I don't want them to find it. I'd leave it under hundreds of tons of rocks and stone that they couldn't get the spaceship, like Thoth said. And they said Thoth, another name for Thoth, they say that had to do with Jesus and everything. I don't know anything about that, but maybe that they would hide the Stargate or the ship under that thing. Might be. Like, theoretically, to me, it all makes sense because we do that now. We hide technology from each other now. All right, let me see. Once again, proving the Bible is a fairy tale. Well, Kelly, I think, what do I think about the Bible being a fairy tale? I think the Bible is a bunch of historical scriptures that have been modified over time to get people to live a fairy tale. But I don't think it's a fairy tale. I think it's history. Like, I think the Quran is history. Like, I think all the ancient texts are history. And I think history, like our written history and our history books, that's the lie. I think that's the fairy tale. I think it's the exact opposite. I think the ancients told us what they saw, then it doesn't make sense to us. And so we start to worship these things as gods. But the elites we know always lie to us. And so they make their his story books because they murder everybody and they write things down the way they want to. But I think the ancients and the scrolls and the scriptures and the stone tablets and all those things, I think that those people had no reason to lie to us, right? If they had all of this ancient technology where they could make pyramids and they could make Chichen Itzas and they could dig these tunnels and they could get to the moon and do all the crazy things that the ancients said, they had flying ships while they had geoglyphs and all that, they had no reason to lie to us. They already had everything. We were like dumb monkeys. We were like ants. They had no reason to lie to us. They had no reason to control us. The only purpose that they would have is like, you know what? We made these human things. We've kind of kept this earth thing going for a little while. We don't want them to die. So let's give them a few things so they don't kill each other. Let's give them a few things like thou shalt not kill each other. Thou shalt not steal from each other. Thou shalt not do all the things that we're doing right now that the elites confuse us into doing to each other on a local level and on a foreign level. So I believe ancient texts more than I do history books, because history books I know are a lie because they're more recent in modern times and they're designed to lie to me and control me and divide and conquer people. But ancient texts, I think they're a lot less fairy tale-ish than what we know. We are putting together a puzzle. We have to look at every piece to find all the pieces. Yes, Megs, even the pieces we don't like. Look under the table, look around the side of the sofa, look in the cracks, look everywhere. There are pieces everywhere. Pieces in the white nationalism, people in the skinhead, pieces in the black nationalism, there are pieces in Gaza, there are pieces in Honduras, there are pieces in Venezuela, there are pieces all over. And you offend those people, you will not get their piece of the puzzle. And not just from an ancient archaeology perspective, and the pieces in Egypt and the pieces under all these mind structures, not just physically the pieces, but psychologically. I think if I made the human race, if I were one of the creatures behind the Adam and Eve document that was classified by the CIA that either genetically engineered the human race or helped the monkeys along, I absolutely would require they all work together. Like, I wouldn't want to see them till I knew that they weren't going to come out here and murder other colonies I started, other Garden of Edens on other planets. I'd make them stay on that damn planet till they learn to get along. I'd make them stay there until they could all work together. Like, look at the theories of the crystal skulls. I'd make sure that until they collectively realized that all their gods were the same God, that all the ancient stories were all the same stories, they were just told different ways, that they're all related, they're all cousins. Until they figured that out, I wouldn't let them off the damn planet. I would put together some sort of game, video game, if you will, structure, earth game, so that until they loved each other, they'd stay there. They would live in oppression, they'd live in death, they deal with rape, they deal with abuse, they would deal with autism, they would deal with all the things. They would deal with death. They wouldn't conquer any of these things. I wouldn't let them until they evolved love, until they evolved real love, agape type love, love that's unconditional, not just love for the black community because you're black, not love for the white community because you think you're white, not love for the Asian community because you think you're, not love for the Christian because you think you know who Christ is, and you think your pastor gives a damn about a Christ more than the money that's coming in. And that's not all pastors. I'm just saying that when you You break things with money. When you put money into them, you break things. Oh, shoot, what time is it? Oh, dang it, I am still going. Is that Christine? Christine came back like, damn, you still going? Damn it, I gotta get out of here. Not only do I gotta pee, I gotta go. Let me do the last couple comments. I'm gonna run. All right, let me see. We can't tell rulers how to rule. We must take personal responsibility for what we need. Exactly, Ty. It's a personal thing. That's why you don't tell nobody what to do. You have to take control of your own life and your own not supporting this nonsense. Hey, good morning, Adrian. I gotta go fast through the comments. I gotta get the hell out of here. We started in live, but you started getting into the CIA lies and this nonsense. That rabbit hole is deep. It's like never ending. There's so much to learn. It's overwhelming knowing where to start. It is, Megs, which is why we start together, right? Because John did research over there, and Megs, you did research over there, and Patricia did some research, and Augustine did research, and they all got to pieces. It's overwhelming. It is so overwhelming. You know, you start where you feel led to start. And I tell people, like, start where you feel passionate. Go out there, get down in a rabbit hole with all this research on the internet, and go down where you're passionate about. Things where in your spare time, learn some things. Yes, quantum physics or mathematics or science or biology or botany or whatever. Just go down, follow your passions. Don't follow the money for a job or a career. Just go down a rabbit hole and learn to make money in a lifestyle chasing your passion. If it's looking into stargates or ancient technology, whatever it is, and go down that rabbit hole and share with other people what you learn. Don't make them pay for it. Don't patent it. Nope, don't patent it. Share it. If it's robotics, if it's automation, whatever it is, open source it and literally give away what you learn. Because that's what whatever created all of this requires, I think, and that's what a lot of the ancient text leaders started doing. Work together. And that's how I think we begin to evolve sentience. Let me see, I need to choose my words carefully, otherwise I'm reinforcing racism. Adrian, I say it. Whatever comes up, let it come out. For the most part, let it come out. Because people got to get past these little silly, stupid ideas about fighting other people and being mad about what you say. Say it the way you say it, and I think other people just they need to learn tolerance for how you talk. That's how I think. They need to learn tolerance for it. And we'll all get along better when we are completely tolerant of each other's rearing. Because that's all race is. That's all it is to me. Like, people still think it's a skin color and ethnicity. I don't think it is. I grew up with a whole bunch of white black boys and black white boys. White black girls and black white. So I don't think race. I think race is just where you're raised in the culture that's prolific around you. I gotta get out of here. Dang, I gotta pee. All right, dang it. Y'all say, I hate this. That's just, I love this and I hate it. Because I'm trying to read the comments because y'all say such amazing, intelligent things but I don't have time. I gotta go make money, y'all. I gotta go pick some cotton. All right. Oh, man. Oh, this was a good discussion. I have to go back and read these comments later. I hate skipping comments, but I'm like probably 30 minutes behind y'all in comments because it's just such deliciousness. It's just so, learning is freaking amazing. I got so many friends that are so intelligent on so many things, and I love it. I hate it. I hate it because I gotta pee and I gotta make a living. All right, let me put on the last ending music. Who told me I'm still here? Whoever, y'all blame her. Who's that, Christine? It's your fault, Christine. I had no idea what time it is. I got to get the hell out of here. Oh, see, that's what I mean. Like, I'm going down the comments. I'm trying to get past so I can get the hell out of here because my bladder ain't as big as it used to be. And I can't do it because Beaufont. Like, damn it, Beaufont. He knew what to say to trap me. Let me see. I think K-Pax and Contact touch upon the possibility of not traveling in the universe physically. Oh my gosh, I hate you, Beaufont. I hate Beaufont. I hate you. Oh, that's so delicious. Oh my God. Let me see. By instead projecting our consciousness. Oh man, why did you say? No, I'm not talking about. I won't talk about it. I gotta go, man. Why would you say that? You know that's pulling me. Oh man, if y'all didn't watch K-Pax, y'all gotta watch K-Pax. If you did not watch Contact, you need to watch it. Beaufont, you were on it. How can I say this in like 2 minutes, man? You know I had to go. Why you do that? Why you do that? Why? Because space is not for us. That's what Beaufont's saying. Damn, I'm so mad at you right now. Space is not for us. It's not for us. We are biological creatures. We literally evolved to be dumb little stupid monkey in our monkey suits living in biological sensitive places. Space is not for us. That's just a barrier where nobody wants you out there, and everything out there is trying to murder us. Projecting our consciousness through thought and transcendence and all these things the ancients talked about, what the heavens is, what spirits are, what, all of that stuff is in the movie Contact. And I'm glad you said Contact, because it's not just K-Pax. I love K-Pax, but Contact is the other one. I think both of them are on Netflix now, and if not, they're on Amazon, but don't watch it on Amazon. Don't do anything Amazon. Boycott everything Amazon. Go download it illegally online or something. But no. But they're all both fun. I'm so mad at you. I got to put the end music. Dang it. Dang it. Oh, that's such a good conversation to go down in that rabbit hole. We'll do that another day. I got to get out of here, man. Y'all going to have me like Brother Chris being chased by the police. They know I'm poor. Because that's who the police come for. That's who the police come for. They come for people. They see you driving a hoopty. They don't think that you have the ability to defend yourself in court. It is their job to give you a ticket. It's how it works. That's what the Democrats and Republicans wrote for the corporations that bought them. But I gotta make money, y'all, because I get caught up. I get caught. If you cannot defend yourself, you are a commodity on Wall Street, and they will put you in prison, or they catch a case. You are in the way of the grind. You are in the way of the oligarchs' grind, and if they can't kill you, they give you a ticket. Have me like Chris in the car. No, but it's not just I gotta pee, Deborah. I gotta go. It's not just pee. It's not just pee lives matter. Money lives matter too. I hate money, but if I don't make money, I'ma die. I'ma be a victim of the system. I'ma be in the way of somebody's grind, and I'ma be a Chris Lewis. I don't want to be that. I live 20 minutes from Chris. The same police that get him, they can get me too. But not the police in my town. I like my police. Like I said, my police, they're not beating people up on YouTube. My police are actually doing their job. I appreciate most of them, all the ones I met in my little town. But Chris, he got them Philly police. Hell no. So no, it's not just I got to use the bathroom. I got to get out of here. I go make some money. I'd love to sit here all day, but damn it, y'all got to send me a whole lot of money. Well, y'all too. We take it first, but first not. But now I can't be first. We gotta take up a collection for Chris first, because we need to get Chris one of them Deborah hidden cameras to put on his dashboard so he can stop trying to film police. Oh, you pulling me over? Why are you stopping me? Because you know how Chris get. He get excited and upset. He pulled him over like, sir, you know, you don't have a seatbelt on. Chris like, you the man, you oppressing me. Stop oppressing me. I got you on film. We live right now, bastard. You know. You know, Chris get upset. He got upset. And they look at him and then Chris fighting the system in every way too. Because Chris fighting the whole appearance system. He growing his afro out, got one side higher than the other, in his middle and the line, and bushes and face, and he didn't want to cut nothing. He fighting the perceptionism system too. Then they look at him like, oh Lord, and we done got one. So we're gonna take up a collection of him first. Y'all do a collection for me later. But right now I gotta go make some money. Let me see, alienating people is my new hobby. Yeah, Brother Dale, well, you posting the truth. Keep posting the truth. Keep sending the truth. Keep posting the truth. You'll alienate the right people, and you'll make good alien friends of the good right aliens. But you're supposed to alienate people. If you're not alienate people, you're not telling the truth. If you got a lot of friends, you posting live streams and 80,000 people watching, you must be promoting a lie, because Wall Street is lying, the mainstream media is lying, Hollywood is lying, and most people believe all those lies. And so most people are going to gravitate toward the people telling the lies that are central to their birth bigotry. If you are, if you're posting stuff and ain't nobody liking nothing, see, I lucked up and I got like a lot of good friends that are intelligent. That's why I appreciate my thread. I really don't spend a lot of time on y'all thread. I hate y'all threads because y'all friends gaslit crazy. I, for some reason, have a whole bunch of people who are like open-minded and exposed to a lot of stuff. So I'll post stuff and they'll like it. But if you just got like all your friends from college and high school and people you met, people you work with, and you posting and they're not liking nothing, you're doing the right thing. Don't stop. You're doing the right thing, because they don't like it, and that's why they're not liking it. If people who believe in the mainstream media don't like what you post, you're on point. You're on point. When you got a whole bunch of likes, like you see, like if you look at my page, I got a whole bunch of likes on stuff, you need to question that. And I think if you watch me, then after a while you realize that I'm not on anybody's team, and so I lucked up with people. But if you are posting stuff and ain't nobody liking it, you're on it. You're on it. Keep going. Keep on. Dale, keep alienating people. Keep telling the truth. All right, I gotta go. Thank you. Let me see. We got a last comment so we can get out of here. We've attracted such great people here, G. Well, I try to attract good people, Deborah. I try not to offend people, and I apologize if I do. I'm not trying to hurt nobody's feelings. I'm never trying to do that. I just think that waking up is hard and it hurts. It hurts. And when people are ready to wake up, they won't be hurt by you telling them the truth. And it hurt when I found out that the black elite are always out to get me. It hurt. It hurt because I was raised in, like I said, the outskirts of Washington, D.C., black power, black pride. We all got to work together. Yes, back to Africa, blah, blah, but we don't want to go back to Africa. Wear the kente cloth, but we don't want to be the ones making the kente cloth. We want to buy it cheap from the slaves at Walmart. So I believe in the slaves still in Africa, right? But waking up from that was hard to do, to realize that I'm being played by these people. And I look at like the poor whites on their side and realize they're being played by the people above them too. And after a while, you were like, man, they gave us pride in this crap. They gave us pride in something we had no say in. It's all a lie. All of it, all of that race, it's all a lie. And they're using it to play you. The people that you endure and you love and you trust the most blindly, they're literally lying you and having power over your daily activity. And waking up from that's hard because you feel betrayed. You know, so I try, Deborah, I try to say things that don't offend people, but I try to keep things as real as I can. I try to keep them just real as I can, but I try to do it with a little bit of sugar if I can, so it's easier to swallow that pill. And luckily, I think I figured out enough to get a few good people to stick in, and we're gonna take a run at it. We're gonna take a run at it. I don't know we're gonna change the world, y'all, but we're gonna take a run at it. I think the kids are worth it, and my friends think the kids are worth it. And we're gonna try to make a run at doing a paradigm shift in this world. We're gonna do the best we can, but we're not in it to win it. Not in it to win it. Like people ask me all the time, see, you actually think you're gonna change the world? I don't know. I wasn't given a choice. You know, when I committed my life to Christ, not to Christianity, when I committed my life to Christ, it basically said, I'm giving my life up for my brothers, all of them. Even the ones that hate me. I'm giving my life up for my sisters, all of them, even the one that hates me. It means I need to be in a good fight, and I need to always be fighting those who are hurting children. My political parties, my churches even, with the Catholic Church abusing children and have been since the popes were murdering people with the Crusades, you know? And I think people gravitate to that honesty if they can see that you are literally looking in the mirror and you dumb enough to do live streams and let people watch you evolve and learn and grow and be wrong and admit where you're wrong and learn. I think people can trust that, because that's what I would trust, and that's what I'm trying to do. And so I don't come into this with any ego at all. I just put myself out there. I'll say what I think, and when I'm wrong, I say I'm wrong, and when I'm right, and my friends are here to keep me honest. They know what I said in the past that was wrong. Good example, best example, the best example of me being wrong. I did that vote video with Chris and Ty, and I was like, oh man, I'm gonna go vote. I'm voting, man. I said, I'm gonna vote. They were like, don't vote, don't vote. I said, no, I'm gonna vote. I gotta vote. I'm gonna get my sticker. I think I did a video once, and I had the I voted sticker, put it right in my forehead, put it on the back of my cell phone. I was so proud of myself. I was so proud. Telling my kids, y'all need to go vote. You know, then I really processed enough of it, and I watched enough of my friends speaking about it. And I think the thing that really kicked me over the edge, I think something that Rebecca said, and there's something that Chris said, and something that Ty said, and something that all of y'all say. It kind of planted different seeds. And then I watched that video by Sister Deborah Pinella on. She has the site Become Ungovernable, and she just basically said, she said, why would you vote for a government that does not support your rights? Why would you vote for a government that doesn't believe in your rights? Why would you vote for a government that doesn't believe in the Bill of Rights? Why would you vote for a government that doesn't believe in human rights? Not a political party. Like, she just put it in a real deep way. And it finally, she said it in a way that allowed it to sink in. It wasn't sinking in. I'm blockheaded sometimes. I'm hard-headed. But she said it in a way that, and this is why I'm saying everybody has to talk, because you never know when they're reading your posts, and you never know which one's going to sink in for somebody that somebody else loves, and what time and when somebody else is going to say something that sinks in for somebody that you love and wake them out of this coma of believing in this nonsense. And I'm not going to vote, but she said it in the way I needed to hear it. She said in the way, why would you vote for a system? Why would you vote for a system that is enslaved, that is locked in to enslaving your children to corporations? Why would you vote to take away rights from your children? Why would you vote away their freedom? Do you love your children? And then she didn't say that, but she said it in a way, and that's how it hit me. I was like, man, she's right. I'm stupid. I was going to go out and vote again. No, we need to bring this to an end. We need to bring this to a paradigm shifting end. We need to put human rights back in our government. We need to put citizen rights back in our government. We need to take corporations completely out of our oligarchical government that runs both sides. And I'm just putting myself out there to be wrong. And I think people can see that. I hope they see that, because it's kind of embarrassing when I'm wrong. I don't like being wrong, but I'm okay being wrong, because iron sharpens iron. That's the only way we learn, is we got to be willing to put ourselves out there and be wrong. Gee, I'm curious about what you do on Easter. I'm digesting what you and others say about religion and Christianity, but damn it, I love Easter. I love the Easter story. Want to maybe go to a sunrise service. I think you should, Deborah. I think if you feel inclined to, then you should. I think that, like Brother Beaufort was saying, this consciousness thing we don't understand, this spirituality thing we don't understand. And it could be that you're going to sleep at night and you're getting messages from who knows God what. Or during the daytime. If you feel inclined and passionate to go do a thing, you should. Me, I do not go to Easter service, sister. I don't, Deborah. I grew up, the Easter service, you know why I started going to Easter service when I was a leader in the church, and while I was in the church? It's because the people who never went to church showed up on Easter service, and they showed up, they was partying the rest of their life, worked for the military industrial complex, they was police shooting people, they was gang banging, they was just in the club just spreading STDs everywhere, just doing all the evil thing, everything that God told them not to do. But they was there Easter Sunday. Boy, they was there with the hat on and makeup and perfume, smelling good, looking nice, kids dressed up just bad as the day is long. That's when I started thinking, this seems highly manufactured. But I didn't, but I'm not going to talk down to it. I think you need to do what you're feeling inclined. If you feel inclined to being Muslim, you should be. If you feel inclined to Islam, you should be. If you feel inclined to Christianity, you should. If you feel inclined to atheism, then you should. And everybody in all those other groups should support that in you, because we don't know how your piece of this puzzle of all this stuff is being perfected by that. So me, no, I don't. I spent my whole life in the church. Now I'm trying to learn all the things that aren't taught in churches. I'm trying to read all the scriptures that aren't taught in church. I used to teach the scripture. Now I'm studying to show thyself approved. Now I'm actually seeking God, and not in the place that King James says that God can only be in. That's what I'm doing. Now I'm seeking truth, not just in a black community, a black poor community, but in the white poor community. Now I'm seeking truth, not just in being an American, but being a Venezuelan and an Honduran and in British and a Russian and a China. Like, I'm trying to evolve this sentience. So I think if you feel inclined, sister, then that's exactly where you need to be. And nobody should be judging you for that. So I don't judge anybody. We were told Jesus died for our sins, but that's just a story. He was killed because he was a rebel and stood up to the men in power. Ooh, and that is very true, Bill Quist. Oh, Bill Quist said it. But I'm not about talking to Bill Quist, I'm talking to Susan. That is true. And I'm gonna end on that, because I really gotta go. You gotta be willing to lay down your life for your neighbor. And anybody can give their life for people who love them. But would you give your life for people you don't know? Would you give your life for people who hate you? And they hated him. Would you give your life? Would you go and fight a strong enemy to become better? Or do you pick weak enemies? Do you pick the poor, weak enemies that you don't like because they got dirty shoes and they grew up in a poor white community? or the other one, they grew up in a poor Hispanic community, or they grew up in a poor black community, and you know that they don't have the ability to fight you back, or your intellect, or your group when you get together and you do your gang mentality thing. Are you acting like the police? Do you find easy targets like a Chris Lewis driving an older car, or an easy target like a Chris Lewis with a white girl in the car, or an easy target with a Chris Lewis, a single dad driving a car? Do you pick out the easy target and go fight the weak enemy because you're weak and you're a coward? Or you do what Christ did and you pick a powerful enemy and you fight the good fight? I think you should fight the good fight. The rabbit hole is a fool's errand. Look into the mirror. What about the person in the mirror? Contributes to the toxicity, challenging our lives. Absolutely. Well, you know what, Kevin? I don't think the rabbit hole is a fool's errand. I think it's a fool's errand if you're looking for truth in the rabbit hole. Like, if you're looking for all truth in a rabbit hole that's always guided and phony and fake and lied and made up, I think you'll never find it. I think the rabbit hole is to tell us to look into ourselves. I think the rabbit hole, the way I view it, is to show us that we really don't know everything. And we know very little of anything, and we're always being lied to. And I think when you go down the rabbit hole, it gives you this understanding, or at least it did for me, that I'll never know it all. And so I need to stop acting arrogant. I need to stop acting like I know it all. And I need to act like there's so many rabbit holes and so many errors that nobody knows it all. There's no pharmaceutical industry that understands pharmacy. There is no chemical industry that understands the effects of chemicals in or on the body. There's no government that understands the effect of society they build out, making poor people and giving them mental illness to fight each other. I think the rabbit hole gives us a sense of humility in that there is so much to bite into that we can't tell anybody anything else. We can't judge anybody for anything that they do or the way they were raised. And I think that gives us the power to look in the mirror and change ourselves. That's what I think. So I think those rabbit holes are very important. But I really got to go, y'all. Beaufont, you did this. Y'all blame him. Oh, man, that's so delicious. I really want to get into a Beaufont. I can't, man. I got to go. I got to eat. I got to eat food. I get moody like everybody else when I don't have food. So I got to get going. Y'all have a wonderful day. This is Gerard. Listen, love y'all to death. Let's keep it going. Please research the CIA documents, research places that you're told not to look. Remember, there's so many great civilizations and people that came before us. We are a species with amnesia. There's so much that was hidden from us, and they always hide the truth from us because they abuse us for our ignorance. They literally give us ignorance by hiding the truth. Governments can't have secrets. Corporations can't have secrets. And you are all family all over this planet. You're all cousins. Act like it. You're all children of God. I gotta go. Y'all have a great day. Love y'all now. This is Gerard. Bye-bye.